Welcome to New Possibilities, to Power Without Fear. I'm going to try this again. Hopefully, people will be able to join the hangout. For some reason, I wasn't able to hear people who had joined. There was some kind of technical difficulty to be straightened out. All right, so let's try this again. Hopefully it'll work this time. Because I could hear, like when I had two windows open. I had my Google Hangouts window open, and then I also had my YouTube open, but I had the YouTube on mute. But when I turned on YouTube, I could hear the other people who were on the Hangout talking, but for some reason I couldn't hear them on my actual Google Hangout. So I don't know what that's about. I'm going to try it one more time, so hopefully it works this time. Shout out to everybody that joined again. Shout out to True Royal. Shout out to Melissa Thompson. Shout out to Slave No Longer and Mark Black. So I'm going to post this link. Hopefully it'll work this time. So we'll try again. Hopefully people are able to join this time. Join, but I just couldn't hear anybody. I don't know what that was about. Okay, I see True Royal has joined.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I do hear you. Good, great.
Just gotta wait till everybody come on in.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad I can hear you. I don't know what was going on before.
We can hear you loud and clear.
And when I cut on the YouTube channel, like the YouTube, I could hear y'all talking to me and saying y'all couldn't hear me. It was just a messed up situation, but I'm glad I can hear you now. So we could wait till a couple of other people join if they want to. Oh, I see Conscious is here.
Yo, you got it back up and running?
Hey, what's up, Conscious?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I was telling Troyo, and I want to say it was midnight, that you got Windows 95 and you got dial up. So that's what the problem is. You don't know nobody. So I had
because I'm on a laptop now. But I'm gonna get my technology together, man. I may have to get me a donate button on here.
Oh, that's right.
So y'all can upgrade me.
I know that's right.
I'm trying to catch up with you. Possibility. I got over 3,000 subscribers. I'm catching up with you.
I was just about to say,
y'all come up fast, man.
Be careful on what you upgrade to, because I want to say my computer's not even a year old. It's a brand new HP. Ordered it from HP. Got it personally built with different things on there, and and this Windows 10 sucks. Oh my God, it sucks. It crashes.
Yeah, my computer just died. Mine, like, it won't even cut on now, so I'm using a laptop.
That's what happened to
me. I have an HP too. I have an HP.
Yeah,
it's like.
What kind?
I have an HP. I have an Envy.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot. I just got a regular.
I got.
What they call it.
I got two of them. And what's this? I don't even know.
It's a cute little candy apple red. They didn't have any more blue. Blue's my favorite color, so I settled out of court for red.
Yeah, I got one. It's fuchsia, and this one is. I have an Intel and an Envy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Psychos join.
Hey, Psycho.
Folks is falling in.
Family, what's going on?
I got something to say about this stuff because
so I want to know what y'all think about this whole.
Well, this is what I wanted to say before you got cut off and stuff. I had made 2 videos about this way before everybody, and people was like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" They thought I was talking some nonsense, and so I was watching them And and then also I was kind of caught up to speed because of my oldest son, live out in LA, and he said he have seen Brother Polite at the mall running scams with his wives.
Oh, running scams. What was he doing? What?
They just be out there, you know, coming off like they so conscious and just and you know what? I don't want to speak for my son. We have to have my son on here, but my son had called me and just told me. He said, "Mom, they at the mall. He has his wife at the malls running scams and stuff like that." But anyway, I was watching. I said, "Let me get on here and see what's going on." So I watched a couple of the debates, and one of the debates I watched, it was with a rabbi and Brother Polite. And I watched a number of them just to see what was going on. And I'm just gonna tell you the message that I gave folks, and they thought I was talking nonsense. And then I had to go back and do a remix video on there because a few people started catching up to speed a couple of weeks ago. And I said, these brothers are very gifted. They're very gifted. I have to give it to them. They're gifted, but they taking their God-given gifts and utilizing them in a very wicked way. And I said, eventually, this is going to blow up in everyone's face. And I could just see it coming. I could see it coming. It was like a pissing contest amongst men. It wasn't benefiting the community. And I'm like, new possibilities. Yeah, a man or a woman should be paid for their services, but we are already at a fragile state in our Black communities, and people are hungry for something or holding on to something. That's why the preacher get away with the mess that they do, and they ain't no better than the preacher. You know what I'm saying? They doing the same damn thing. They sitting up here pimping the community. And some people may take, because people go to extremes. They may use religion. They may use, the conscious. And I always said that I'm not a part of the conscious community. I'm a conscious person, but I'm not a part of the conscious community. And the reason why I say this, because I mess up like anybody else. I stumble and I fall. I stumble. Yeah. And I'll own it. These people will not own it. We all been born in this jacked up ass system. We all affected. I speak with fire. I am very knowledgeable, but I'm fucked up too at the same time. That's the only way I can put it. I know I'm messed up. I know it. Let me keep my mouth shut.
I know in the whole ego out of whack.
Psycho, you have an echo. So you
echo too. I got headphones and I don't know why I'm echoing.
Your computer.
Excuse me, he sounds good from here.
Yeah, say something again, Psycho.
What you say? Do I got an echo now?
No, I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I've always known that the egos are completely out of whack. It is one of the things that actually bothered me about it. And I kind of seen this little implosion before it happened. I seen the ticking time bomb. Now it's just a complete hot mess. And it's crazy. It bothers me because it's being the nigga shit. Like it's not even about like the whole situation with this whole Seti and Pharaoh and Saneter thing, because first Seti and Pharaoh 3 days before the event starts. Now, first of all, that's unprofessional. That's very unprofessional to begin with. I run events. I've ran events. I do amongst battle rap and everything else, and it's all the same format. You're dealing with a lot of the same people. So I know the process it goes through to do these events and everything. And they had some type of handshake agreement on how they was gonna things according to the pay-per-view and the door and everything else. And I've heard people trying to compare this to battle rap, and that kind of bothers me because when you're dealing in battle rap, when these battle rap people run these events, they're holding thousands of people. Saneter is lucky to get 1,000 people to come to a debate.
Wow.
Right.
That's being real. And, you know, he doesn't pack it in the way battle rap does. It doesn't. This whole community doesn't draw in them same type of numbers. To compare a battle rapper getting like 7 to 8 G's for a big event, and mind you, that's a big event. Is going to get that kind of money. He's not going to get that for a little house event or something like that. So if he gets something like that at a big event, you best believe it's over 2,000 people there.
Right.
At least $50 to $100 per ticket. You know, when you're charging that type of money and you're getting that kind of money at the door, you could afford to pay these guys that kind of money. You can't overspend what you're kicking out, or else you're not making anything. You're actually losing money.
Yeah, and that's what it sounds like with Pharaoh. Like he was demanding too much money, at least according to what Saneter was saying. Like in terms of how he broke it down about the costs that were involved and all that stuff. It seemed like what they were asking for was unreasonable. Now you mentioned 3 days. Like I mentioned, I missed part of that. What? So they canceled like 3 days before the event. Is that what happened?
Yes, this all happened before the event even happened, which is real unprofessional.
That's crazy. That's definitely.
Can I chime in here?
What's up, Kaj?
Okay. You know, I'm just gonna let you guys know I never did like Saneter. So, you know, I'm try my hardest, not to be biased in any way. Because I did listen to what Saneter had to say, and I listened to with Young Pharaoh, and I really don't care for Seti at all. He cursed, too much for me. He's too. To me, it's like he's not serious. He joke around.
Like all those guys curse too much. So like every other word is
Young Pharaoh cursed too much too, but I mean, Seti's on a whole nother. He just sound just country.
Oh, really? I gotta check him out. Yeah.
He sound country and ignorant. And I remember the first time I ran across him probably was in 2010, and it just, I didn't know what the hell he was saying because I couldn't get past just the the Southern drawl and just it's just too much.
That's ironic because Pharaoh Allah was saying that every time he cussed, he was going to dock $500.
Let me finish this. Look, all right. Check it out.
Oh, for real.
Pretty much, I should have screen shot it, but I read the document itself, the contract. Now, I'm pretty sure because Psycho, I don't know how these things work, and I'm not even gonna pretend like I know. But if someone is asking me, I don't give a damn how much you pay for a venue. If someone is asking me to sign over my intellectual property, and I want to say with in the contract itself, he was only promised 1,500. Plus, if he or Seti, in their time, that they were allotted, were to curse, that would start the deductions, right? So, this dude, he already, has made, big bucks off of, all of these guys. Seti, he done made money off of Seti throughout the years. Talking about Saneter, with Young Pharaoh, he done made money. I mean, because it's like, all right, you guys, you can really, make money off of YouTube. I mean, we can look at some of the big names on YouTube and why they do the things they do. We could say it's just because they're cooning, but I believe, that the views and the clicks and the different checks that they get from YouTube is more than enough incentive, to continue to do the shit that they do on here. Okay?
Can I chime in real quick? Real quick, I got to dive. You're right about getting X amount of money off these guys doing their lectures and debates and everything. That's true, but I gotta that comes with part of the game. Got Smack over here on URL, a bar in his life all of the all the royalties that come in from YouTube off those battles. He pays them up front for them to come on and spit their bars. So he pretty much paying them anything after, like anything that he does with the footage after that is on him. He paid them for that footage. This is kind of how the game works. Let me also address this.
Okay.
YouTube doesn't pay out as much money as people think. Be giving out these huge checks and everything else. Let me tell you, you got to be pulling in big numbers to actually try to make a living off YouTube. I mean, big numbers. I'm talking.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. Because like I have a video that has like 250,000 subs, and if you I mean, I didn't make hardly much at all off that video. Like, I mean, and I have my videos monetized. So I just think, like, if I relied on YouTube for a living, I would be starving. I mean, and I would be begging in the street. Like Saneter is making so much money off of these. He's not making that much money.
Could I finish off?
Like, so for you,
like, you know, I understand that.
A month?
Go ahead, because you're breaking up all the time. You was kind of breaking up on the last point you were making.
And for young Pharaoh to ask for $200 a month.
Okay, where did you hear that? The $200 a month. Last point you were making.
And Saneter showed the contract that young Pharaoh gave. So young Pharaoh was asking for royalties, which is kind of absurd.
But it's okay.
Okay, why do I hear an echo?
There you go. Somebody just joined.
Yes.
You have to turn down your audio so there's no echo. Something playing in the background.
Okay, well, I didn't see that video. So if he was asking, because I really wanted to, focus on, the contract that I read, off of young Pharaoh's video, and and like I said, like I don't know how much you can stand to make off of YouTube. I totally take y'all word for it, because I don't monetize nothing, never plan on doing it, but I do know that, people do make money off of here. Like, I do know that. Like, you can look at some of these people who shuck and jive and do the things that they do to make a living off of here.
They might be doing a crowdfunding too as well.
Yeah, people.
They ask for donations.
They have
but just to rely on YouTube alone, you're not going to make that much money.
They have
like 40 channels and drop a video like every 10 minutes and ask for donations just to live off this.
And
then they sell merchandise as well.
That's the thing, though. I just want them, because I don't want to, sit here and take up all the time. But, I just wanted, to say, like, what, regardless to, what he's making off of, YouTube, what he's making off of, these debates, I mean, come on, let's go ahead on and keep it real. This is the same guy who, has caped throughout the years for Polite, and he already know Polite was scamming people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's
it's
true.
like, it's some things, that Saneter's been, and just the whole platform. It's like, you're supposed to be, devoted to bringing knowledge, to the people. I know that you have to make a living. I do understand that.
Pharaoh also scam people.
Because I just keep on getting cut off. What's going on?
He was saying young Pharaoh something.
No, I was saying, didn't young Pharaoh and Seti just scam people this weekend?
The last video.
Actually, what happened was
Lord.
They were going to do it.
Ahead, take it away.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
See, because my mama watches Seti, and she was really keeping up with what was happening. She told me I watched young Pharaoh. But basically, what had happened was Saneter, he called the police on them, so they couldn't have their function. And then
don't have any proof of that. We don't have any proof of that, because first police, then he made a video saying officer, his story switched up about 4 times. I questioned. He said he had proof that they called the police. His proof was his parole officer started texting him. That was his proof. His parole officer, the Saneter, Squad, Dr. Mayat, none of that. He's just asserting things without any proof.
Wow.
Also said that they like prevented Saneter's people at his venue blocked. Like he couldn't get his venue.
He was supposed to.
Now that
the first
I believe he
foil,
did with the Joel dude.
With the Joel dude, he did. They were supposed to continue with the venue through that guy, and I guess Saneter and his people got to Joel Newman, totally fold that event. That's why he had to scramble and find something else. And the last video that I seen with young Pharaoh on his side, he showed I want to say he was like driving back to I guess to wherever he's from, and he was talking about go ahead.
No, I was just saying upstate New York. He was driving back upstate New York.
Yeah. I seen that, and he was just talking about they we're supposed to have it at 5 o'clock. I guess Sunday evening, and pretty much that's when he said about his parole officer contacting him, and that Saneter and his people had called the cops on him. Now the night before, I did see the video that he posted where Saneter actually called his phone, demanding to speak to Seti, and he was pretty much, cussing him out, cussing Seti out, told Seti, asking Pharaoh to put Seti on the phone, pretty much directed Seti's mother to perform fellatio on him.
It was pretty wild.
Pretty much,
that's what I was talking about. Yeah,
pretty much told, young Pharaoh and Seti, that they can, perform fellatio as well. So, it got pretty nasty. It got pretty grimy, and I don't know if you remember, Psycho, but on my hangout, that you were on, I said, I don't even know why he got involved, with Saneter in the first place, because, it's just something about that guy. Just, it's like, all right, I understand it, that you have to, make a living. I totally understand that. Like, but there's ways you can go about doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Kind people.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you, Conscious. Like you mentioned that you had problems with Saneter. Like I wanted to know, like, what was the issue that you had with him?
Well, I ran across, him and his platform probably back in 2010 or 11. And it's just all this intellectual masturbation that has been happening,
exactly.
From the dawn of time when it came, comes to us, it's like, and just the profiting off of it. I mean, if you pay attention to his tactics, in a way that he's nothing but a hype man, like he's nothing than, but a DJ Khaled for, the conscious community. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what he does.
It's like, we're the best.
Yeah. Another one.
Man, like, that's all he, he is to me. Go ahead. Somebody was chiming in.
I was saying he's a promoter. No, I was saying he's a promoter. That's what he does. Yeah, he is the hype man.
Yeah.
And then he's hating on these other people that get bigger than him. Like for some reason he's hating on people that get bigger.
When I seen that, now see, I already told you guys a while back, that I really didn't care for Polite either. Way before, come to find out his what's the name of his organization that he be scamming people?
New Covenant.
New Birth Ministries. I don't know what it is. What it is, Psycho? Oh, okay. I thought it was.
You said New Covenant.
I had said New Birth Ministries, but yeah, New Covenant.
New Birth. Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like he he's over here conning people. You know what I'm saying? Now, anyway, a lot of people said, that the guy You know, it's very knowledgeable. It's just like, I don't know. I never could really fully watch a whole video with Polite on it. I just couldn't. Something about him just turned me off from the very beginning. You know, but to come to find out, you know, that this guy has, you know, used the proceeds off of scanning people to move to Hollywood. That was just all I need to know. But, you know, I already felt some type of about Saneter. And then when I seen that video that he had where he was on a live stream with, some other guy in Polite, you know, and pretty much, I guess Polite didn't give him a shout out when he was on Vlad. See, Vlad is the devil. Like, his name popping up.
Yeah, he's like a lot of tension is around him. Like a lot of conflict is around that guy.
Thank you. Like, it seemed like Vlad is at the crux.
I will say about Saneter though. You right about Polite scamming people out here scamming. One thing I will say is Saneter don't scam people. He might enable the scammers, and you can argue that's just as bad.
Interesting.
Bad or whatever, but he doesn't actually scam people. Like he actually gave back all the money that everybody don't.
I don't believe that.
So let me ask y'all this: What is Polite doing? Like I keep hearing that he's a scammer. Like I hear like all these people saying he's cheated them out of money. Like how did he get people's money? Like how did he scam them out of their money?
The fake status corrections.
Yeah, he does.
What's that? Like explain that to me. Like what is the status correction thing? I've heard that, but I don't know the details.
You know, if you know, it's a lot of people who tune into this whole Moorish sovereignty ass crap. Where you probably could explain it, you know, more in depth if you know about it, Psycho. But from what I understand, it's supposed to change. You know, it's like
about being sovereign.
Yeah, it's supposed to change your status.
Nation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed
that
to.
Corey game shit. That Corey game shit.
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much, it's supposed to allow you to not be seen as a
They're not going to acknowledge that stuff. They're not going to acknowledge.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish just for those in the chat that really don't understand. I guess, you know, pretty much it's supposed to allow you. Okay, you know how when you're doing business, you are kind of like a straw man or something, and your birth certificate and your social security number is like collateral and. It's traded on the open market, you know, like the stock exchange and all the goodness. And pretty much it's supposed to be worth, money if you turn it in or do whatever. And, average people have, this identity, but like people who are in a totally different class, who are actually corporations, who are actually like, able-bodied people or whatever, they're, they have a different status than we have. Right. So, pretty much when you get your status corrected, you're supposed to be able to, come from under that, I guess your social security number, your birth certificate, and become, like your own individual, your own corporation or some bullshit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're supposed
Zaza Ali even tried to do it, and she talked about how she got scammed, lost a bunch of money out of it and everything like that.
Because I want to say, it's a lot of, paperwork with the government, back and forth paperwork and different motions you have to file. It's a lot of, money because you have to, pay fees for this, pay fees for that. Then you got to pay the person who's doing it for you. I want to say, the first initial, to get the process even started is like $500, right? So pretty much, when young Pharaoh first had got out of jail, he went through Polite, to do his status correction, and pretty much, once he gave his money to Polite, even though he eventually got his money back, I think the only reason why Polite got his money back is because he had somewhat of a following, and and he couldn't really take his money and not give it back, because that would have go ahead.
That right. Yeah,
Psycho, you breaking up.
Yeah, you breaking up real bad, sweetheart.
Give me 1 second.
But he was gonna try that shit on young Pharaoh, but at the time when young Pharaoh did, he did have a decent following, and I guess Polite was like, well, damn, I'm about to give him his money back because the jig gonna really be up if I if I totally mess over young Pharaoh for the world to see. But yeah, it's it's a scam.
Understanding, like some people also purchased some other things from him, saying they didn't get it.
Books,
like they purchased some
his lectures and different things, and it never comes in the mail. I mean, all you have to do is just go to YouTube, and just type in "scam by Pharaoh." I mean,
like countless people on there. Yeah, you're right. Like it's countless people all on there, like complaining about him not paying them.
Yeah, it's videos of like I remember seeing this one chick. She was crying and she was talking about how she just had a baby, and she really looked up, to Polite and cared about him, and so she bought, some of his books and DVDs. And
status correction is the big scams people with books.
Yeah, like the status correction is the biggest one because you paying, like I said, out the gate you paying $500 just to get shit started, right? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like you can't mail somebody their books, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't mail them some DVDs, bro. Like come on, like.
And meanwhile, he's in Hollywood driving around in Bentleys and Rolls Royces and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I heard all his books are copy and paste.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, this is my thing. It's like, I'm all good with the, just, everybody getting together, like we do on here, I'm all good with us, talking solutions, talking, different things and stuff. But when it becomes, like a boxing match, and Saneter turns into what's the dude who used to always promote
Don King. Yeah.
Thank you. When it turns
exactly, that's what he's like, Don King.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a Don King conscious.
Like, that's the shit I don't be feeling like. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit I'm not feeling right there.
Like
and it's like, and you have to make money. Like okay, all right, make money by when you put out material, like lectures or different things, then people don't, should pay for it. People should pay to, to come see you. If you are hosting someone's event, then you are, you should be able to make money off that venue. Cause I'm pretty sure, like Saneter said, he did put up, $10,000 just to, off the gate, just to promote it and, and different things, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like
let's not
go ahead.
All these people came to Saneter first. Saneter didn't come looking for these people. Mm-hmm. He freely came to Saneter and gave all these lectures and everything else. Matter of fact, they fought for airtime. So
this is my thing, because it's like Saneter been having this cast and couch for for years, right? So it's like it's like, all right, he sends for some of these people, Psycho. Okay, like you can't tell me, like anytime because it's like he's a promoter, he's a hustler, he got to constantly have his ear to to the streets and see who's coming up and coming. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he probably seeing young Pharaoh getting the following that he did, and he probably sent for young Pharaoh to sit on his couch, and so they can
see what also that Psycho mean is like in the boxing game, maybe some of these boxers, went to other promoters and they knew about Don King. They knew how greasy he was, but they wasn't gonna get the promotion or the money and all of that. And so they just made like a deal with the devil because they had to go over there and go to Don King. It's just the thing that I have understood. The thing that
you're the only game in town or the biggest game in town. People come to you. You don't have to come looking for people.
That's right. That's true.
I believe that as well. I mean, that also, it explains why, he felt the way he felt about Polite, not giving him, credit, because it's like, he did show a lot of evidence where he did put, Polite on a lot of lectures, when he was up and coming, you know what I'm saying? So, and this is the thing. It's like we already, like I said, he's a hustler. He knows how to make that money. He knows how to get paid. But you know, when it comes to, you know, getting paid off of something that's supposed to help your people, that's supposed to, you know, enlighten your people, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like there's certain ways you go about it. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, you know, his whole tactics, you know, it never rubbed me the right way. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it just never sat well with me, you know, how the way he runs the platform.
It's things Saneter does that rubs me the wrong way. Also, I don't like how he throws the word nigga around with ER on it and everything. It's not even with the A. I don't like how he.
All of them talk pretty bad.
Saneter does that.
All of them. I was listening to how they throw the N word around.
Yeah, they constantly do that, man. They constantly.
They got to get off of that. You know.
See, you guys could call.
You know what I'm saying?
You guys can call Irritated Genie whatever y'all want, you know, like y'all can talk about him, you know, y'all can do whatever, you know, say whatever y'all want about him. But one thing I do respect
doesn't bother me. I like
about him.
I like him too.
The one thing I do, you know, the most that I respect about him that I need to, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I need to take his, you know, his stance is not using the N-word. Yeah, you know, like he don't use it. Yeah. You know, he don't even want to be around people when they use it. Like I seen a clip where he was at a lecture with David Banner, you know, and David Banner was using the word, and he like stopped the whole, you know, like, you know, lecture. Was like, hold up, bro, look, check this out. We ain't using that word, friend. Like, look, go ahead on, make your point, but you don't have to use that word. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, see, that's code of conduct right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? No matter who you are, you know, up there giving a lecture, you can be stopped and you can be, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, hold up. Like, you know, not abide by code, you know, here using the N-word. We don't want that. So, you know, but it's just, see, I feel like you see the true people when things like this happen. You know what I'm saying? Like you to seeing their true faces, and some of the things that, you know, young Pharaoh said rubbed me the wrong way too. But you know, it's like, hey, you know, everybody got. Go ahead.
He's real loose with his mouth, and he's always trying to like. Whenever his pseudo ship gets challenged, the first thing he wants to do is fight.
Oh damn!
He doesn't even like his opinions being like
Humber.
Like be his first time with somebody actual shit, and he straight dipped off out of and complaining that he needed an hour. He said he needed an hour.
Right? Yeah, that was unreasonable, man.
Wait, what's going on?
That was unreasonable.
He did this little live stream last night. Went to the section where he went. He was done in less than 15 minutes. All this complaining that he did, that he needed this hour, this long drawn out time to do this ratchet hip hop.
So you watched it? You watched the debate, Psycho?
I saw pieces of. Well, actually, it wasn't a debate. It was a lecture, I guess, because wasn't nobody there to debate. It was an echo chamber. At the end of the day,
okay. So where can this be found? Because I would love to watch it.
Yeah, it's not on what you call it. I saw it live.
Okay. All right. So you put your money in your pot to watch it, huh?
No, actually, Israel bootlegging it, and I saw it.
So,
Psycho, was it worth the amount that people were charging?
No. Everything he said, everything I heard last night in the live stream, I heard them say in like 3 other live streams, stream. Like he did nothing but just reiterate the same thing he had already said. So I'm sitting up here like, well, what are you charging people for? And they said in there, I heard them already say, or on Seti, or they own or whatever. Regurgitation. And they really charge people $20 for that.
Psycho, you breaking up.
So what do y'all think about So what do y'all think about what they were debating about? Like, why is that stuff viewed as being so important to these people? Like, we have, and they're debating about some Mayat or some ancient.
They were debating about the Meta nature.
Yeah, so
I
like,
was saying they were debating about the Mentorship. Pretty much that's the Egyptian hieroglyphics and how it hasn't been properly deciphered.
yeah, but it's like,
this is
what do you think about? Like, do you think that's something that's important? Like, do you view that as something important that demands our attention in light of the problems that we have?
No,
No.
I don't. No.
So I'm like, understand. Like, I'm trying to figure out why these people place such value on that kind of stuff.
Go ahead, Psycho.
One day, young Pharaoh came on Saneta's stream, and he just started talking about how the Metaneta's never been deciphered, and then they got into this big, long, drawn-out argument about it. I think with Reggie, and I think Unc called in, and that's how the whole debate thing ended up happening.
Oh, so why is that so important to them, though? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Young Pharaoh did a whole, he did it, I want to say about two videos on how it wasn't deciphered, and pretty much, he was hearing that, the Amarat squad was, pretty much, dogging him out, and so that's why he brought it up on Saneta's hangout live stream that time. And felt like he had to defend himself. Like you said, when he makes points, he does feel like he has to defend himself. And it kind of snowballed from there. Like, Psycho said, it's like, I feel like, I feel like it's
him, Dr. Mayat started going back and forth, and that just got ugly.
Yeah.
That was like, I'm just trying to understand, like, why is that so important? Like, why is this ancient Egyptian so important? Like, why is it so
outside
vital?
of historical, outside of just learning history, nothing changing our everyday life or anything like that. It's just history.
Like, I'm not getting it. Yeah, I hear you.
Well,
go ahead, Katya.
What I will say about it is like, to me, because I don't identify with that whole, Egyptian culture and crap, but these people in the conscious community, they wear ankhs, they, Sarut and Seti, Sarut and Seti, whatever his name is, that's a, from the Mentorship, Saneter is from the Mentorship, you know what I'm saying? Like, these names that these people, name, themselves.
Egyptian stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's this whole, culture that they have built in this conscious community is based off, the teachings of, Dr. Ben, Dr. York, Dr. Valen.
Francis.
I don't remember Francis Quest Wellesley touching on, Egyptian stuff, but I know, Dr. Valentine, Phil Valentine, I know he touches on, Egyptian type stuff, so it's like they have built, their lives around it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if someone comes up to you and tells you, oh, well, what y'all done named yourselves and that symbol, those symbols y'all be wearing on y'all clothes and around y'all necks, that shit ain't never been deciphered. So all that shit you wearing around your, that name and that shit you wearing is false.
I hear you. So I see why it's important for them.
Yeah, like, that's what really made everybody, like, want to really go at, Pharaoh's throat.
But it's real contradictory, though, because Pharaoh wears ankhs also. Pharaoh wears ankhs. Pharaoh talks a lot of Egyptian culture. So it's, I mean, look at Seti's name.
Yeah.
The Mentorship hasn't been deciphered.
But I know why they do what they do. I know why the brothers do what they do. Because when you're growing up in a suppressive system and you're always projected that you're nothing.
That's a good point.
Constant and stuff like that. And then when you can get a little tiny foothold or whatever, it's ironic that you end up becoming the very thing that you disdained in this system. It can happen. And I understand it. That's why I constantly keep saying we all been affected by this system. I don't care how much education we have. I don't care how much knowledge that we have. I don't care how strong that we are. We all up in this mess. It's a mess. And we all been affected by some kind of way. That doesn't mean you're a weak person. The part that's sickening about it is when you know enough about this system and say, for instance, yes, you do be able to make a couple of pennies, and then you take it and manipulate your people, because you know the pulse of your own people, that we're starving for something to hold on. I said they're no better than the pastor in the church. Doing the same thing. Yeah,
they become like the new pastors.
Mm-hmm.
That's what has happened,
See, it's intellectual masturbation, and I feel like that's why we, can't get anywhere as a people. And I don't know how the men in the chat room and how you New Possibilities and Psycho gonna feel about this, but I feel like,
Uh-oh.
yeah. I'm just keeping it real,
We're about to go in.
I just feel like, everything that True Royal just, stated, it's so easy to focus on these minuscule things instead of focusing on Trump and, racism, white supremacy, and how it's affecting us and what it's doing, to destroy us. It's like if Black men were to really, stop, paying attention to minuscule shit and really realize, the state, in disrepair of, their community, and pretty much see that, what it's going to take to actually get this shit started. It's, it's easier to stick your head in the sand. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier to, pretend, that the Metanetter is more important than, Donald Trump appointing, strategic people, that are very, very racist into his cabinet. You know what I'm saying? If you really, had to stop paying attention to the Ankh and all the other bullshit and really realize that, okay, look, these people ain't playing. Like, this is in the final stages, the 11th hour of the fucking takeover. And I'm a man.
I hear you on that, Conscious.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of exactly what you're talking about, because in fact on my hangout, I had the Electoral College on there. But as me as a person, even though I'm saying what I'm saying about these brothers, it is very important for me to know my true history and where I come from. I'm tired of getting this colonial system thrown up in my face.
Yes.
But also, I'm keeping an eye on the enemy too, as well. It's like a fine balance. You can go too far into anything. It's like, for instance, I will talk to my aunt on the phone, and every other word, bless her heart, come out of her mouth. Jesus said this, and Jesus said that, and Jesus said this, and Jesus said that, and it's kind of troubling and stuff. And I believe in Jesus, and even for me, I'll say, wow, that's heavy. She's really putting a lot on it. You can see where she's become neurotic with her stuff, and it could be vice versa. Somebody who's in the conscious community coming with all these intellectual words and stuff like that. But again, it always seems that these people know the pulse of the community and take full advantage, and they end up becoming the very thing when they was, unquote, on the other side, disdain. Now I'm up in Hollywood rubbing shoulders with these folks and stuff like that. People ain't nothing. Them people ain't nothing up there. That's some wicked stuff. We already know it. But it's like you feed into it. And I seen into it months ago. I said, they taking these gifts. I'm not saying that they don't know. They taking these gifts and using them in the wrong way. And as far as Pharaoh Allah, he needs to go take his little young ass somewhere and go study some more. He's smart. I'm not knocking him, but he's so want to go toe to toe with older men that he can miss certain marks. I'm not saying that he's not supposed to do.
I feel like he has been
down and study, and he needs to be guided. He needs to be guided.
I see. This is my thing. It's like, if they would have offered him guidance when he first came on the scene, then shit would have been cool.
Well, see, it's like this. It's like this, Conscious. I'm gonna tell you something else I know. I worked with men for many years in the construction field, and men are like this. Men got a cold-blooded way they do things, but I fully respect it. They'll try to guide young men, and if the young man don't want guidance, he'll basically say, F him, he can fall on his face. I've seen men, older men, try to guide young men. You're like, no, I'm just gonna do it the way I'm gonna do it. Now I don't know if that's the situation with him. I don't want to, just make up something on the brother and stuff like that. So men have a way to do things in their world that a woman will say, oh, that's wrong. They doing this and that. That is what they do in their world. That is what they do in their world. It is what it is. And men have a way of operating. And we'll say, we'll do it like this and we'll do it like that. You know what? You're wasting your time. That's how men do their thing.
Another thing? Another thing?
That at the gate, though. Like, what if they, as soon as you come on the scene, they tell you get back, young blood. You don't know what you're talking about. Instead of taking you under, their ring, like from.
But what if he's not accepting it?
Okay, what if they didn't offer it?
Well, if they didn't offer it, they didn't offer it.
Or if they would have came at him like, oh well, because see, this is the thing that I see. When it comes to older men, the dynamic between older men and young men and midnight, you can totally, chime in after. I feel like it's, that whole I don't know if I should use the word, but I'm gonna use it.
Just do it.
I know, right? That whole mentor, the mentorship, I feel like that's missing between, the generation before.
That's a good point.
Mine, the generation before mine, because it's like I see it in on the streets, and I also see it online. Like I feel like instead of the generation before you guys used to say, come on, young blood, I know you don't have no father at home. The uncles used to take care, the younger men, the uncles and the grandfathers and just older men in the community used to take, young, boys under their wing and would help, compensate for the lacking male energy that they didn't have at home.
You got a generation ain't even listening to nobody.
Yeah. Okay, but you have
and I'm not saying that's the all.
Not even trying to teach them shit.
I've seen my own husband go out of his way to deal with young folks. My husband is in his 60s, and he say, "Damn, they don't want to hear nothing I got to say."
Okay. Say it again, Entre Oil. Your husband is in his what?
60s.
Exactly. See, he's in his 60s. He probably was helping, these young men who are now in their 30s and their 40s. But the ones that's in their 40s and their 30s, they still, trying to run the streets like a young Pharaoh.
Yep.
They acting, wearing skinny jeans and shit and acting like they his age.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Like
I've seen it too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a problem on both sides. It's like
I'm telling you, like these older men, like that's 40s and 30s, they trying to run with the best of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just want to make a quick point real quick. Like, I think it's a problem on both sides. Like you have the older men who are not mentoring, and then you also have the issue with older men in terms of being willing to share leadership or even leadership after a certain point. Like people cling on to leadership. They don't want to help another younger person come up. They don't want to guide them and all that kind of stuff. And then on the other hand, you have young men who don't have any kind of respect for their elders at all.
Can I add something?
To listen.
Oh, go ahead. Sis.
Oh, go ahead. Somebody.
Well, you could finish and I'll say what I got.
No, say what you're gonna say.
Well, another thing I noticed is that we follow what Western society shows us and deems as how men are supposed to act, how females are supposed to act. We don't have our own way of, our way of teaching each other and acting in our roles as men and women. See, with Western society, men, they are, some of them are ultra masculine and, tough and hard and, I'm this and, they have it in their head that, which is true, the older they get, the more valuable they are. So, it's kind of hard to give up your pedestal for the younger generation to take over. And then the younger generation, they are, how do I put this?
They're trying to find a niche.
that, and also, you know, they're thinking, how can I outdo my predecessors?
Yeah.
You know, how can I one up them?
Yeah, because my predecessor's trying to sit up here and run the streets with me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
he trying to holler at the women. I'm trying to holler.
That's a damn shame.
Come on.
Good point, because a lot of these guys, like, they're supposed to be elders and guides in our community, but they're trying to be in the club and try to act like teenagers and talk like teenagers.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
That's how they're acting.
I've seen him as old as my husband doing that, and he'll tell me that. Yep, I've seen that too. It's like, really, dude?
Y'all remember the game situation with he was beefing with Meek Mills and all that?
Yeah,
I remember that.
The game, he got children, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude is like 46 or some shit. You know, he over here beefing with a dude that's 28 years old. It's like, go sit your old ass.
What's his name? Benny Siegel.
You know, you know,
Siegel is older, yeah.
Benny Siegel, like 58 years old. It's like, go sit down, dude. You're old now. Even though Gabe's still hot, don't get me wrong. You know, he's hot, but go sit down for a while, okay?
It's time to graduate. It's time to graduate from that stuff and stuff like that. Well, you know what's terrible is to see an old man. He trying to sag and stuff like that.
Oh my God, I hate sagging. What is the point of sagging? I know where it comes from. I know where it comes from prison.
If you see a 50+ man sagging, it is a sad.
No. What's the point of sagging in some skinny jeans? Like, please explain.
Oh my God,
I ain't figured that one out.
Like,
I figured that one out.
Already.
No. Let me tell you what I saw. I saw a dude sagging in those basketball shorts.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
I was like, what the heck?
Ain't nothing you can do. Like, I mean,
to a point that True Royal raised about, like, this whole issue of pride, like these men that have been beaten down so much in life, they see these arguments and debates as being so important. It's like their one chance when they have a chance to shine and to feel like they are a man and all that kind of stuff by defending their position. And I just think that it's a shame that that's their measure instead of, like,
I feel like that's the way that they get their self-esteem too.
Yeah. Be like about building things instead of debate. It just seems like we should be about building instead of just debating and stuff like that.
Well, I got some, little story to tell. Not necessarily a story, but I want to say it was in this book. The Half Has Never Been Told. It pretty much, it like really, goes in depth about the true, motivation of slavery in this country. But there was a passage in particular where it talked about how the different men on the plantation would have these I can't remember if it was if it would be dance competitions or it would be like competitions to see who can do something or something, but it would be a big spectacle to the point where even the slave masters and stuff kind of gather around and watch them go against each other.
I thought you were about to Conscious. I thought you were about to talk about buck breaking.
No, well, we already know about that, but I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about, like, it was something recreational for that the slaves would do.
Well, remember we seen it in Dango where they had the men.
Right, exactly.
You mean Django?
Django, excuse me, Django. Forgive me. Where the men were wrestling and things.
No,
like
it wasn't wrestling. See, that's why I wish I would have wrote it down.
But that wasn't wrestling. What was
no. This is something in a book.
Oh, you're talking about the book? Yeah, I was just saying an example of that. But in one sense, that particular situation, they had no choice. They were making money off of them.
This particular thing I'm talking about, it's historical events that this person pretty much composites and puts in one book and talks about. And he just talked about how the slaves like I want to say it would be on a Sunday, and they would either have the men the women would gather around and they'll laugh and cheer them on, and the men would go head to head dancing or singing or laughing and joking. And I'm bringing up that scenario to kind of say that in a way, we are still doing the same thing.
Are. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're still suppressed. The shackles are just mental now.
You know, because even though you're enslaved and you have shackles on your feet and you have to work from sun up to sundown, you, instead of, you know, trying to get together and plot on how to get out these damn chains and, like, you know, revolt, you're sitting up here going head to head, you know, to see who's the victor, you know, so you can be patted on the back. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know,
that's all they had left.
You know, I feel like when it comes to, you know, the things that, you know, fast forward, you know, to now, I feel like, you know, when we do branch off and do things, you know, like this conscious community, you know, where they go to this, you know, house of consciousness, they debate on, you know, whose religion reigns supreme, or they debate on, has this, you know, Mentorship been deciphered or not. I feel like we're doing the same shit. You know, and at the end of the day, even though we don't have those physical chains still on us, and even though we don't have to, we're not forced to work from sun up to sundown, we are still wasting our time, you know, shooting a breeze. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
You know, contest, like you said earlier, True Royal. You know, we're still, you know, and it's primarily the men that you see in this sector who are, you know, trying to see who reigns supreme on the knowledge.
But you have to understand a man's nature too. You have to understand his nature. Understand his nature. Understanding his nature in a system that is suppressing him. A man's God-given nature. We don't know what that feel like. We really don't. And he can't fully exercise it. So when he can't fully exercise it and he knows he's being suppressed, then some are going to act out in many different ways. Some may womanize, some may overdrink, people may do all kind of stuff. That's why I keep saying, so like I'm a broke record, I don't know what I may do in this system. I'm a pretty disciplined person, but I'm subject to go off. Y'all done heard me go off. I don't know what I may do. I've been affected. And I let it ripple through me. Some people be lying. They be, oh, I'm hard. I'm like, man, this stuff is depressing sometimes. It's stuff that we have to go through. And then I pay attention to the things that New Possibility talk about. I've been paying attention to the cabinet that they putting together. I know the messages that they throwing out there at us. I see the things that they are that are going on.
The key thing is you're paying attention to True Royal. What are the men in this community doing? They over there squabbling with each other. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the type of shit that be making me feel like it's gonna have to be the women that get it together.
But no. This is my attitude. This is my attitude on it. This is my attitude on it. I'm not going to go berserk over the men that ain't getting it. The men that are getting it, those are the men you unite with, because you're wasting your time trying to get the other ones to get it. If they're not going to come on board, they're not going to come on board. We cannot say X our men out 100% and say, oh, they ain't getting it.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that.
I didn't say that y'all said that. If I said that y'all said that, I will say exactly that. Now, what I'm saying is, why waste your energy and continue to be irritated with one? And that would be females too, that want to be on that knucklehead stuff like that. That drains you. That drains you. So come together to the people that is about that. You know what I'm saying? And then also the ones that call themselves trying to come in and to infect us. No. You can't come in here. You're not going to infect me and my people. And I don't care if you are my people. You a cancer. That's my attitude on it. I had when I was younger, I was sounding something like you, Conscious. It was like, oh, we got to get on all these people and stuff. You get a little bit older, after a while, you be like, fuck them. You know, I'm gonna deal with people that's trying to work together.
I'm getting to that.
Yeah, you be like, because I had a fantasy in my head, all my people come together and stuff, and then I start seeing people hurting me, stabbing me in the back, taking me for being naive, because I have a great deal of love for my people and stuff like that. And I said, oh, I see. Oh, not all of us gonna come together on this. Okay, all right, I have to accept that. It's a hurting thing and stuff like that. But I'm only gonna work with the brothers that I can work with, and I can understand women getting frustrated, but I'm not gonna get frustrated and say, okay, the women gonna have to do it by ourselves. We can't do it by ourselves. We both need each other at the end of the day. And that's even if the men say it, oh, we're gonna do it by ourselves. He need us. We need him.
I know. I'm not saying we're going to do it by ourselves. I meant like maybe we're going to be the ones that have to start it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have no problem. You know, as far as who's gonna start something,
can you guys hear me?
I don't care who started. Who started?
I want to make this point, Royal. This is what I'm saying. See, the reason why I told you guys that story out that book is just to show that we are still doing the plantation ass shit we were doing at that time that we doing now. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Okay, so
I think somebody put Capoeira. Was they doing that?
Capoeira. Oh, that's Brazilian. Brazilian martial
in that book that you had.
You know what? It was something like that. It was something like that where, you know, pretty much they were doing, you know, they would do it, and everyone would gather around, and it'd be, you know, and it's the same shit when we have rap battles.
Oh, you talking about Capoeira?
You know, it's the same, you know, shit when we over here debating in the House of Consciousness, people buying black people buying tickets to watch this shit. Right. You know, it's like we spend our money on minuscule shit, and all around us, these creatures are planning our demise. But we still, in this vital time, instead of using this time to, you know, come together, you know, and strategize, we're over here seeing, you know, has the metanetter been deciphered or not? You know, exactly. Like, come on, like we, you know, and I just, you know, wanted to paint, you know, that connection between what we were doing then and we still doing the same shit now. You know, it's like, come on,
they don't have any sense of urgency. That's the problem. Yes. Like, they don't understand the crisis that we're in. Like, we don't have the luxury to be debating about nonsense that's irrelevant in the big scheme of things.
Exactly.
Like that. But I think that your point, like True Royal's point about like working with like-minded people, and we need to build with the builders, man. It's like these people that want to waste their time debating, to hell with them. Let them do their thing, and we'll build with those who are ready to move. But it's like the problem is like these people, they capture so much attention. A lot of people are focused on that BS. Yeah, and that's the problem.
You know, because even we're focused on it. You know, look at your title. You know what I'm saying?
We're talking about it now. Yeah, we're talking about it now.
I mean, even though we're talking about it now, that's not the whole makeup of New Possibility. I mean,
I know that. I'm just saying it's so.
But it does need. But it still needs to be addressed because it might be that one or two person out here listening fully get our message and say, you know what, I've really been focusing on this mess a little bit too deep. I need to hear something else. So yeah, we still have to keep that out there too, you know, because you never know who you may turn around. Well, I get messages in my box all the time, like, you know, I didn't even trip off of it. But I always say this to people: I'm out here learning too. So I'm not the end all be all. I'm learning through everybody else.
Problem with like a young Pharaoh, I think he's too cocky. He thinks he knows everything. Like, I mean, I understand there's room for growth. Like, I don't think that like people should downplay him because of his age and all that kind of stuff. But I just think that people get too arrogant. Like, people think they know everything, and really, when you understand, you realize that there's so much you don't understand.
You know,
the problem with these.
I totally agree with that. You know, because you know, and let me speak for for my generation. I totally agree with that. You know, it's like, you know, I wish. You know, young Pharaoh would have just stayed on his page. You know,
how old is young Pharaoh?
23.
Yeah, 23, 24.
You know, I wish he would have just stayed on his own platform, you know, focused on, stayed in his lane, focused on what he, you know, got going on and bettering himself, you know, because I do believe, you know, that he has a lot more growing to do, a lot more maturing to do, you know, he does need to humble himself. Now, to the people that want him to humble, I don't feel like they, you know, because respect is earned. I don't. It's not.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and it's like
age or anything.
And you know, and see, that's one thing that I have. You know, I have experienced a couple of times with the generation before me as well. It's like you want respect without earning it. And it's like, you know, and it's really like, having to raise yourself, and then all of a sudden after you done got to where you are, it's like you have an older person coming now trying to tell you shit, and it's like you weren't there to raise me. Well, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna let you know, Conscious.
I'm talking about where he's coming from and where
no, I was just wanting to point something out, because I be listening to you when you talk, and I was talking like this literally at 3 years old. Okay, I know it may sound crazy and stuff, and then you start talking like this in your 20s, and people listening to you. I have no life experience, but I'm foreseeing shit way ahead of the time. And what I have learned in 51 years of living is I'm past the frustration mark. I see that people are people, and some people gonna change, and some people not gonna change, and stuff like that. I'm just telling you something. I know it sounds weird what I'm saying to you, but when you can foresee stuff, it will make you frustrated.
You're right. I have, and I'm not trying to brag on myself or nothing. It's like,
humble on yourself.
I was just gonna say, I'm a very intuitive person. Growing up, I didn't spend my time around people my age. I always spent time around people, that were way older than me, like my grandparents.
And they would listen to you. They would listen to you.
And I would sit and listen to them.
Yeah, me too. I would ask a lot of questions and stuff, and folks would say, "She got an old soul to be talking to me."
Exactly.
I didn't fully know what the hell I was talking about. It's just things that would come to. It's a lot of us like this. A lot of us like this and stuff. And
I do, agree. Like, what I'm saying? You still, at the end of the day, everyone must study to show thyself approved. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, from the young to the old, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody ain't go, you're never going to know all the answers. You're just not, you know what I'm saying? Right. Just think you have learned all there is to know about something. It would look like what Dr. Francis Questlove used to say about racism, white supremacy, shoot. She used to say, "Oh my God, I freaking love her so much. I'm wrong for that."
But she would say the same thing.
She used to say, like, just when you think you know all there is to know about racism, white supremacy, everything you think will only cease to confuse you or something, or
even further, even deeper.
Well, pretty much what I got from it is like you when you think you just got it, there's still more to learn, like, so every day is a learning experience, and always be willing and open to learn. Always be willing to, be open to shut the hell up and sit back, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are. Shut the hell up, sit back and listen sometime.
Yep. That's what I do on these hangouts when y'all join. I just sit back and listen to y'all, because y'all offer a lot of wisdom and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's part of the thing. Like, people don't want to listen. Like, people are so eager to talk. And
you're right.
And I feel like that's one of the biggest problems in our community too. Nobody listens. Everybody talks, but nobody just sits there and listens.
Yeah, like I was saying in a video that I did. I said, we want to run around and we want to call each other chosen. I'm chosen. Some people, not all. I'm not saying all. And I said, okay, yeah, you can call yourself chosen, but there's duty and responsibilities with that. You want to say that you're wise. I know I'm a wise person, but I'm wise enough to know when I'm messing up, and I'm wise enough to know that I need some help, and I'm not arrogant, So you don't want to own up to that. You don't want to say that you're afraid. You want to act like you're hard and all this kind of stuff like that. It's scary to be in this system. You don't know if these suckers gonna knock your door in and stuff like that. Everybody want to be on this hardness tip and stuff like that. You don't have to be a coward, but you can have fears. Fears is healthy.
So let me ask y'all about this. A couple of people mentioned in the chat room that they view some of these people as race hustlers. What do you think about that term, and do you think it applies to some of these people that we've been talking about?
Yes, because again, we know our people. I know y'all. I know the hustle to use on my folks. I ain't doing that, but some don't care. They don't have a conscience.
You want to go for it on Midnight?
You can go first.
Okay. I do feel like, we have a lot of, I think that is a very valid term. I do feel like, we have so many examples on YouTube without saying their name, because I feel like you know, when you speak their name, it's like speaking the devil's name.
That's why I always say, he who shall not be named.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I try not to say it because, you know, they
just say he who shall not be named.
Yeah, you know, them who shall remain nameless. Anyway,
that Candy, remember Candy? I don't know if y'all saw that horror movie, Candyman, if you say his name. That's what it's
Don't say it. Don't say it.
That movie and Pet Cemetery used to give me the blues, boy. I take it. But yeah, you know, I feel like, you know, that's a very valid term, and I feel like that's exactly what, you know, we're witnessing from these platforms on YouTube. You know, it's sad because it's like, you know, so many people are caught up, so many people who can, you know, that we need to contribute to what we got going on. You know, it's like they are caught up in these platforms. You know, I feel like, you know, ain't no way those platforms should have all the followers that they have. Like, new possibilities. Like, I probably don't watch all your, you know, videos on this channel. I'm working on your next channel. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's a shame that you don't have, you know, the same amount, if not more, subscribers than some of these people.
No, I think it's a good thing, Conscious. I really do. You know why? Because you get people that really want to listen to him. If you just got a whole bunch of people in there looking at you as a form of entertainment and stuff, people might say, he or she is boring. That's fine. I don't want phony people on my channel. How you doing, Angel?
I agree with that too. You know, you could have a lot of
Robert said we sound like the children of the corn.
Oh. I don't think I don't know how to
Angel's up in here too. He's up in here listening.
Angel.
Hey Angel. Yeah, he you know, I see the tip he's on. You know, he even starting to be, you know, on to the schemers, man. You know, like, he started to realize, like,
Angel,
you know,
Angel is having an awakening. I've been talking.
Yeah, like his videos and his message is starting to get a whole lot realer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's starting to get like, look, he's separating the wheat from the tares over there, boy. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's starting to realize, look, you know, everybody who black ain't saved, like they say. You know what I'm saying? You know, but you know, and I feel like that's what's needed. You know, that's what's needed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's needed, guys. Like, we need to weed out, you know, the tares from the wheat. And it's like, you're right, you know, Troy. We do need to focus on the people who is gonna, you know, who are like-minded, and they get it, they understand it, and they know time is of the essence. And we ain't got time to be intellectually masturbating in a corner. You know,
I'm sorry. Every time you say it, it's just like,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's what they're doing, though. That's real talk right there. That's exactly what they're doing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have time.
Ooh, that's messy. Ooh, wait.
No, like, you know, we don't have time for that.
That sums it up, though. I mean, exactly.
I agree. It's just,
you know, it sounds funny, but it's real. Like, that's exactly what's going on. And it's like, you know, Chrissy made a good point in one of her videos, and you know, I want to say it was the same video where she talked about Trick Daddy. And I'm pretty sure you listened to New Possible Abilities and you ain't feeling it, but I loved it. Anywho, but she made a great point, and she said, okay, look, how long, you know, we done had, like, you know, black men, you know, black intellectuals among us. How long? You know, we had Marcus Garvey. He tried to tell y'all. You know, we had Martin Luther King. We had Malcolm X. And, you know, it's like we had all these people, you know, lecturing and spreading knowledge, and, you know, having books and different things. And we are still at the same point where we still rather talk than do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We still ain't got shit to show for it. We done had so many people who have came and died and went on to glory, and we still doing the same.
The problem is he's scared.
That's my biggest criticism. That's my biggest criticism of that House of Consciousness. It seems like that's all they do is talk and debate. Like, they're not building anything. You know, they're not really doing anything. They're not organizing people to bring about any kind of change. I mean, they're just into entertaining people with these endless debates over religion and philosophy and things that don't really affect people in their day-to-day lives. That's the biggest problem that I have with those people.
It's no different than the mega church. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no different. Like you know, seriously, like, it's no different, you know, than a mega church. You know, it's no different.
See what people get out of a mega church. I mean, when I go to church, I like to go to a small church. It's just too detached.
Thank you. Like,
and too corporate, like, for me, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on, like a whole bunch of, you know.
I haven't been to church in years.
Yeah, me either. You know, I'm a heathen out here in these streets. I know.
I don't plan on going to make a church. See,
you know, I ain't gonna lie. You know, I ain't took my communion in a minute, but you know, you're right.
I'm more of a spiritual person. I'm not a
like if my grandma heard me talk, she was like, "Yes, baby, I told you that." You know, you know, I love you guys so much, you know, and I'm glad I'm, you know, able to talk, you know, to like-minded individuals, you know, because it's like I was telling you last time, you know, Midnight, like this stuff could be very, very, you know, stressing, and it can make you very like.
I'm glad I can come here too, because y'all really helped me to stay balanced in my own.
Well, ain't nobody getting mad at each other, jumping down each other's throats and stuff. That we'll disagree on a lot of stuff, but we have so much love and respect for each other, and we stand on code. That's why I was saying we are the standard here on YouTube. You got all these different cliques and stuff like that. So I said we just need to continue on demonstrating our code of conduct, because we kind of run the same circles. Because we're saying, well, why they not doing this, and why they? And it's like, well, we are doing it. We're doing it.
Right, we have to be the ones to do it. Yep.
Yeah,
we have to be the ones to do it instead of complaining.
Yeah, like shout out to Angel, you know, because he coined the phrase, I think, what it was, photeps, huh?
Yeah,
photeps.
Yeah, that's the classic.
Like classic. Mother, like, I loved it. You know,
the brother's name, the brother that's very religious to get on here. He was getting frustrated with us, and he's like, "Oh, y'all just talk. Do y'all do anything?" And I was like, "Oh, wow." Now he's not Hollow Point, but I'm like, you kind of sounded like Hollow Point. You just think all we do is sit up here and talk. Remember that night, New Possibilities, when Hollow Point was asking us, well, what do we do? And you said, well, I do this. And I said the things that I do. And then Lashee said the things you do. He said, oh, y'all just show offs.
You know,
after asking what we do.
You ask.
See, I'm still giving New Possibility, you know, the side eye for, you know, even having a guy, you know, like, you know,
Hollow Point, you gotta check his material though. Like I could understand like somebody that would watch the Hangout and think, well, oh, he's this way or he's that way, but he really has some stuff on his channel condemning racism and challenging the Zionists and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit more to his story than what y'all saw. But I understand why y'all would be frustrated.
He came on here bad. Like, he came on here like, where the white women at?
He gets under my skin.
You heard me, New Possibility.
Yeah, you start going off. Yeah, I hear you. Like, you go off on it.
Not all white women.
I know he likes to play the devil's advocate, and he be saying stuff that don't be making sense. And I have heard him make sense.
Like, that dude came
on. I know he got
but
sense.
It's good. Like,
y'all
what I like about having him on there is like he adds like a debate dimension to. I mean, even though we just started talking about like debating and all that stuff.
Sometimes you do have to have that. I'll put that. You gotta have that one person that get up under everybody's skin, and then it really get to popping.
I mean, you know, he just came on the Hangout, just gone off. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, look.
Yeah, he went off. He came off like on 100. Like he was already on 100.
Yeah, he was already on.
I mean, he be angry. He just be angry. And one night I told him to get his ass off of there. Just go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Down somewhere.
I like to hear different opinions. Like, I noticed that a lot of the people that I watch are people that I don't agree with. Like, because I know what somebody's going to say that I agree with. I already know their perspective and their angle and stuff like that. So I like to hear a different perspective. Like they challenge my opinions and they force me to be in a position to defend my position and even just like strengthen my position or even question it.
But you know what?
I like that. Yeah.
Possibility. I don't understand people to come to your channel, know your format, know your agenda, and listen to it. Because to me, it's like making my ears bleed, and it's like I wouldn't listen to anybody that I disagree with. Now, I mean, just everything that they say I disagree with, and I'm like, why is y'all coming to the channel? You know, and it's like I get a lot of white supremacists come to the channel, and it's like, why are you even coming to this channel? You know
they are obsessed with us. They are fucking obsessed with us.
Like,
yeah, you're right about
that myself. Like when I have like people that regularly come to my channel just to criticize what I'm going to say, like, or to attack what I'm going to say. They are regularly coming to my stuff and watching it and criticizing it. So it's like, I'm wondering, like, why are you doing this? But then I think about myself. Like, I like to check out people that I disagree with. And actually, I like to challenge their opinions. That's why I have my whole other channel called I Declare War. But it's like in a different viewpoint. Because, like, if you just listen to people that you agree with, then you're just in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And your ideas
that's
get
true.
challenged.
Yeah.
I like to just hear myself talk, you know.
You know, we do need refinement. You know, we do need, opportunities to sharpen ourselves, because it's like, it's, we want to be able to, state our purpose and our point and leave it at that, and knock them down with like one, blow. Like because it is like an intellectual, like, war out here. You know what I'm saying? Like you really do have to know how, when a white devil comes on stroking a black cat, like you got to know how to get them off, like,
oh yeah, that was cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got to know how to tackle these creatures. They're everywhere. It's
Angel made a good point. Like Angel in the comment section was talking about like how some people he can't watch because they're focused on destruction and abuse. And I agree with that. Like some people I don't watch. Like I don't watch anything Tommy Sotomayor posts. The only time I'll check him out.
No, you don't
like,
say his name. He who should not be named.
The only time I mention it, like the only time I watch his stuff is like if everybody's talking about something that he's involved in. That's the only time I'll check him out. But I can't watch his stuff. Like he's one of the few people that I absolutely refuse to watch because he's such a
about people. Like
what was that?
Talk about people. Like that's how I ran across some of these people's, channels is, hearing different things about them, when they caught up in drama, and different things. That's what makes me go over there and have to go hear their side and go back and, because, I had to go, when I watched your video on CK, I had to go over there and watch her video, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Like, it's like a cycle. Like, in a way, it's like I don't like it's like if you talk about them, then more people are going to be drawn to them and say, let me check them out. Let's see.
I'm not going to lie. I like a little soap opera and drama from time to time.
Yeah, it is entertaining.
I ain't going to lie.
It is entertaining, yeah. That's how you end up watching them. Like you said, like if I'm criticizing a particular YouTuber, people are going to want to know like about that YouTuber. They're going to go to their channel. And in a way, it kind of defeats your purpose. Like if you're trying to counter their message, but you're adding to their audience, it's like a catch-22. But it's like I do believe that some people's opinions are so ridiculous that they need to be challenged, especially these people with large platforms. Like I refuse to just sit by and allow this stuff to continue. Like somebody has to stand up to these people. And the thing is, they are like, these people are like mouthpieces for white supremacy. And if we don't challenge them, our community and our efforts, so they have to be dealt with just like any other traitors are dealt with in a nation. Like nations deal with traitors, they get rid of them. And that's what we have to do. We have to challenge their messages.
I have to ask you something, the possibility. This, this goes for everybody. It's like I remember you know, one major stance that Dr. Frances Cress Welsing had, she didn't believe in, you know, going back and forth with other people, you know, other Black people about what they disagree with, whatever, you know, with whatever she had to say. You know, so it's like, you know, she doesn't agree with that. She feels like that's counterproductive. You know, and that we always should focus on, you know, racism, white supremacy, and white people doing, you know, things, you know, but I don't know, like, I just really, you know, like I said, I love her, you know, and I wish I, you know, had the, you know, the chance to meet her, but, you know, I just kind of felt like, okay, well, the traitors among us have to be checked. They have to be, you know, exposed, and they have to be ostracized, you know, from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's so important. And you know, the reason why it's important is because we have examples like Fred Hampton. It was a traitor agent who gave the police the floor plans to his apartment that led to him being assassinated. Exactly. It were agents among us that ratted on political movements in our community. There are agents among us that turned in Black people to the slave master, that told about our plans to rebel. These agents have to be dealt with, like they have to be confronted. And, you know, I understand, like, some people are all about just unity for the sake of unity, because we're all Black, we need to be unified. We don't need to be unified with traitors amongst us. We don't need to be unified with those who are informants amongst us, those who deliberately serve as the mouthpieces of white supremacy. We don't need to be unifying with them just because they're Black. Like, I heard another YouTuber say, well, I don't want to take sides on this one or that one. And these two people on an equal level. Like, you know, you have one person that attacks Black people, who talks about how white people should kill Black people, how white people should bring back lynching and all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh. This man, like, condones, like, these police when they kill Black people. That man is not on no equal level. That man needs to be called out. And like Martin Luther King said, silence becomes betrayal.
Yes.
That's what it becomes. Like, we have to call these people out for what they are. That's the way I see it.
You know, and I totally agree. Like, I couldn't have put it, you know, any better than that. I mean, it's like, you know, we must, you know, deal with, you know, our own, but I also, you know, agree with her when it comes to not solely focusing on them, but by exposing them, we expose the people who actually pay them, you know, who actually are the, you know, the puppet, you know, who are the puppet, you know, masters behind these creatures, you know, because it's like, you know, it's like we you know, because it's like we can go, you know, throughout, I don't want to say his name, but we can go through his platform and see, you know, all kind of white people supporting him, giving him.
You know that video that I put up that you disagreed with a couple of days ago with Sin in the picture, and I didn't get to explain myself.
Oh, go ahead. I didn't.
No. You know, we didn't disagree before. I still love you and respect you. It ain't gonna change nothing. I did it for a reason. I said, if this person want to be this greasy and hunt this woman down and do it, then I'm doing the hunting back and I'm exposing her ass, because if she don't get exposed now and we gonna be shh and ignore it, then this platform gonna get bigger and bigger with doing this disrespectful stuff. Like
you exposed the woman that got the picture of Sin?
Yeah, I damn straight. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm known for it.
What was your position about that issue? What were you saying about that whole thing in the picture?
My position about it is I did hear her say that she has a number of sisters. She got 9 sisters, and some of them are married to white men, and that she has biracial brothers and sisters. I mean, nieces and nephews, and that she also work in the corporate field, and then she lives up in Seattle. So I was like, I don't know. I didn't know, and stuff like that. And I didn't jump to no conclusions, because based on the things that she had said before. And then when I found out, and I wasn't even trying to find out, somebody came to me with it. And then I said, oh yeah, I forgot somebody had questioned her about that picture. And she said, yeah, I had took that picture 2 years ago up in Oregon. That is my sister's ex-husband. our birthdays are a day apart. They called me up for drinks, and I came up and had drinks with them and took the picture, and that was that and stuff. And it is what it is. But it was the tone of the sister, and like she had really got really like she had got her on something. And those are the type of people that need to be called up. You ain't even did your research or your facts. You saying all this old nasty derogatory stuff and everything else like that. I would have took it different if the picture would have been there and said, look what we got here. You know?
Yeah, so Conscious, what were you gonna say about it?
Yeah,
What do you think?
say, like, I didn't, like the only thing I disagree with is, using that as a thumbnail. Like me personally, I would have never done it, just because.
Well, I'm just letting you know, Conscious. If somebody talk greasy about you, disrespect you online, I'm gonna call them on the carpet. Same thing for new possibilities and everything. I'm known for this. I'm known for this. Just check this out. It don't matter. It don't matter with me. I don't care about the consequences because I got that much love for a certain group of my people, not all my people, because they started to turn my back. So what I'm saying, I would have went hard in the paint for you too as well. Oh, yeah. Now, if you don't agree with it, I understand that. I respect that.
See, it's not that I don't agree with the video itself. I totally agree with it. It's just like, all right, check this out. Say you guys get a picture of Conscious, kissing the devil. You already know how to. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say I was big enough for someone to care. Like my channel was big enough for someone to care, and and the person already quote unquote calling themselves exposing me, and they use it as their thumbnail. Like, what I totally know you're gonna go, to back for me. I know that, but it's like. I just don't agree with you using the same thumbnail they used in your video. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. Because I wouldn't even known that picture existed. First of all, I saw it on Home Goddess's channel, like she was responding to it, and I was like, "What is this picture?" And then I saw it on True Royals Family, and then I'm like, "Man,
what made me do the video possibility?" You said, I read your message on hers.
Yeah,
and then I was reading all these messages, and I said, "Oh, this ain't gonna go good. This ain't gonna go good. This ain't gonna go good."
Because I didn't I mean, I wouldn't have even known that picture existed. I mean, even though y'all intended well, like by attacking the person that was going after Sin and all that kind of stuff, I simply wouldn't have known it existed at all. But it's like everybody that was criticizing her,
she knew where it came from. She wasn't gonna say nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that.
And I was like, give a damn. I'm gonna find out who did this.
When I saw Radical's video, I was like, it was bothering me because I was like, who wanted to know, but she didn't say. Like, and then I had to go through the comments to figure it out. But it's like, y'all helped spread that picture. Like, y'all really helped spread the picture, like, even though y'all were going against it.
I was just gonna say, just imagine if
y'all like this. If y'all behinds get yourself in a knot on social media, y'all gonna see some pictures of yourself. And I'm gonna be
with a white heart.
You ain't gonna catch me like that.
That'll break my heart right now. Like.
Let me tell y'all, like, when I first saw that picture, like, even though like I've seen all these rebuttal videos, and I'm glad all these people did that, but it's like hard for you to take somebody seriously when they're like, is this evil albinoids that? And then you got all these pictures hugged up with evil albinoids. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like me on here, like saying the white man's the devil, and then the next thing you know, you got me hugged up with all these white people that I'm calling the devil and stuff like that.
Now, see, at first I'm gonna feel some type of way, right? But then
it just doesn't go right. I mean, even though like I'm sure she's like had all these disclaimers in her videos, like I don't hate all white people, but if you just glance at her channel, like you would get that impression that she has something against white people when it's like every other title is evil albinoid does this, evil albinoid does that, and stuff like that. And then
that part,
you know what I'm saying?
The type of person I am, that part I can't defend. I'm not going to defend that. Only thing I was defending was the picture and what she said about the picture. But I can understand somebody overall message, and that person may take the assumption because you hear that more than you hear that she said that she do have a few white acquaintances and different things.
Titles of her stuff, like, and I don't watch her like I'm not like a regular watcher of her stuff, but if you just go by the titles, you would get the impression that she has like all this hostility towards white people, but then she's got all these pictures floating around hugged up with white people.
Now, Angel Ramirez said here, if people don't like you, they will always try to use anything.
Yeah, that's true. They will find something to discredit you. That's true.
He said he made a video about his picture, and I show multiple
his video too. Yeah,
with people and one with a picture, of a white colleague, and someone already used it to say I'm an agent.
Yeah, he did a great video on it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, his video was good, but I'll say this: like the thing with
so he's
Angel,
already an agent. Lord,
like, excuse me. The thing that I'll say about Angel, like, there's a difference between him and her. Like, Angel is not on his channel. He's not on his channel talking about evil white people. Evil white people that. You know, he's not like evil albinoids, this and that.
I love it.
It's cool. Like his channel is about black love and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, but like, this is the thing,
white people like that. So it's not the same type of thing. And then, you know, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, I mean, I agree with the people that posted their defense of the picture. You know, it's not that big of a deal in the big scheme of things. You know, I still support the sister. But I'm just saying, like, if you're saying evil albinoids, this and that, and it's my understanding that this is not the only picture. There's like plenty of pictures with her, with all these white people and stuff like that. I even saw like one of these exposed videos, and it's, you know, people putting out all this garbage and stuff like that. But I just think that people's rhetoric must be they live their actual life. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that, because, you know, I just want to make the point, you know, and that's real funny, Roger J. You know, he see, you know, he like my singing, like but here's the thing.
That's funny.
I say that a lot. You know, I feel like, you know, I'm more blessed than others to not have to constantly interact with white Caucasians. You know, but it's like people have jobs, you know what I'm saying? Like people go to school, people, you know, have, you know, it's like I only have to, you know, walk among, you know, those creatures when I go out to get milk and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
I know. I went to HBCU.
Every time you say creatures,
she didn't say
conscious. Every time you say creatures, I just start laughing. Like when I hear these hangouts with you calling these white people creatures, I just start rolling, man.
You know, see, that's why I wanted to go back and listen. I be laughing at myself. Like, but you know, Midnight just said she goes to school, so she's among the creatures every day.
Well, no, I go to Dillard. I go to HBCU.
Okay, so it's not so bad.
But see, this is the thing. Freshman year, there was more people of color, definitely more black people. Now we're getting more and more white teachers, and we're getting some white students. I don't know what's happening. I had to take a step back and look this past semester, because I'm finished now and I'm on Christmas break, and I'm just like, oh my God, what the heck happened to Dillard?
Yeah, see, it sounds like they whitewashing it, you know? Like,
yeah.
You know, see, it's like, you know, we have to interact with them, you know, whether we like it or not, you know. And it's like, I don't like Angel said, I totally agree with him. I don't hate white people. I just rather not, you know, have to be bothered with them. I rather not, you know,
as little as possible.
You know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I hate certain white people. I hate white supremacists, white racists. I hate those white people.
You know,
yeah, that's how I feel. Like I don't hate white people. I hate oppression. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like, you know,
it's not like I'm
you know, I totally agree with
against
that.
all white people or anything.
So when I seen the video, you know, I just kind of was like, okay, you already got people who want to expose, or quote unquote expose her for what, I don't know, you know, but
well, you got to see how fast her channel is growing, and then like with
no, I'm talking about the picture.
She don't hold back either, and that's she don't hold back when she go in on white people. That's another thing.
I'm talking about the picture itself. You know what I'm saying? Like using that to say, "Ha ha, got you," ha ha, you know, like You know what I'm saying? Like they really stumble across some shit, you know, like to really holy grail type shit, you know? So I just feel like you know, even in that picture, it's like, look, I probably have pictures out there somewhere, you know, from high school where I, you know, took pictures with, you know, white people. It's like in this country, we have to interact with them like in every facet of life, you know? So it's like some more than others. So I didn't, you know, really feel anything when I seen that picture of her, even though, you know, if, you know, for one thing, I was just sitting up there looking at this cheesy looking white dude with this bald head, you know, and how the way he was sitting back like he really got something, you know what I'm saying? You know, he over here like, yeah, you know, I got.
But you see how she had her arm all turned away and her body all twisted and stuff. I was checking. I was like, damn, she don't really look like she want to take that picture.
Well, see, yeah, like the longer I looked at the picture, you know, he over there feeling it, you know, but she just like, you know what I'm saying? But so it's like you know, like sometimes, you know, you do, you know, end up interacting and taking pictures, you know what I'm saying, with people that you probably don't agree with. But it is what it is.
I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Y'all gonna find, you might see some pictures of me with a hard hat on.
Look, that's all give disclaimers right now.
Look, I saw all these disclaimers.
Look, that's
good. And that white boy is on a construction site.
That's what I'm saying. Look. You know, True Roy, she already saying, look, and you know, in 1995, I was on the construction site with my hard hat on, next to some white dudes and some boots. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like that's Philippines already. Like new possibilities here.
I started doing that. Like I saw that Angel had his pictures out, and then Lashid for you. I was like, man, what is this? Confessions? Everybody like got hilarious. Out all their white people pictures. And,
you know, I take pictures of white people. Confessions. You know, like, you know, so you might as well go spilling the beans now. Like, I mean, come on, like in 2000. Let's see when I graduated. I want to say I graduated high school in 2010. You know, hey, I'm in a yearbook right across. I'm surrounded by white people. Like my whole homeroom down there was full of white people. I'm guilty. like okay, you know what I'm saying? Like you can look in the yearbook. You know, like a white person next.
I live in a white neighborhood. I'm up in the hills with these white folks.
Yeah, I like that.
So let me ask you this, True Royal. Like, let me ask you this. You talk about like separation and all that stuff. People, how does that work out? Like,
how does this work out? Like, what you mean separating from?
I mean, like I've noticed, like you'll talk about separation, but you'll also mention that you live with white people. So, how? I mean,
it's a crazy.
True Royal talking black and living white.
I can't like this. Me and my husband, we can't live in the hood because we got so many cars and we got so much shit. We'll get robbed. Up here with these white folks, we don't know if they're gonna turn on us. So I don't know. It's a precarious situation to be in, and then I'm hard in the paint because they'd be like, "Oh, hi Kim, how you doing?" And I'm in here. White folks is this, blah 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 blah. You don't know next door. I know it's a trip. It's a trip. Yeah. We don't want. It's just terrible. Because just the sake of material things. My husband has 5 cars. He got trucks, Hummers, custom made stuff, and we was trying to live somewhere where we don't think we would get robbed. Now, just to let you know, it ain't predominantly right. I got a
real bad right now.
No, I'm serious. I got a Mexican store. I got a Chinese down the street. It's on this block alone, there's 5 black families. But overall, the neighborhood is predominantly white. And then if y'all know anything about Oakland, California, it's kind of limited where you can stay without you getting jacked. You know, it's a trip. It's just a trip. You know, it really is a trip. I don't have no answer for it. How you doing, Lashid?
Hey, Lashid, Troy over here. You know, Troy over exposing herself. You know, she talking like.
I'm not gonna lie. You're not gonna lie to y'all.
You know, she over here with talking black and living white. I can't believe it. Shame on you.
And I see like LA's in here trying to start up a debate that we had before about this issue of separation.
Okay. So is he pro?
Yeah, he supports separation, and I did blacks separating from white people.
I would rather live with my folks as long as they don't rob me.
Video dealing with that, responding to Radical Home Goddess did a video talking about separation, and we had a debate about that.
We'll see. Okay, I said, I kind of live in a mixed apartment complex.
Somebody has a TV on in the background.
Yeah, that TV kind of loud. What commercial is it?
What I got it going on?
Midnight.
Oh my goodness, True Royal is living a Caucasoid life, and the scammer. LOL. Look up the scammer. I gotta look at that. I gotta check that out.
Pretty much is I'm probably a couple of miles up from from the ghetto, of Gulfport or whatever. So it's you know what I'm saying? So it's, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this on one of your other hangouts, but I kind of grew up in in the suburbs, in a mixed neighborhood, and growing up, I want to say my family and probably two other black families was the only black people on the street. Then over time, Mexicans came, Chinese people came, and whatever like that. But it's I understand, where True Royal was coming from, because it's you do have, a reputation when it comes to living in the hood. And it's I was looking for places before I moved out in Gulfport. I was looking for places in Kenner, my hometown, New Orleans, and, in different places.
You in Kenner?
When it comes to birth control, yeah. Well, I'm born and raised in Kenner, but pretty much I was looking for places there first, and because the rent has risen so high after Katrina, and I think they did that by design to keep people from coming back. But since the rate the rent was so high. And, my mother-in-law, my fiance, they're from Florida. And so all they have heard is bad things about New Orleans and stuff like that. So it's that was a big no-no. I wasn't moving her son over there. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up, finding a place, in Gulfport. But, it's like this, we have to realize that, and not buy into the stereotypes that's also, perpetuated by, the media on, about our people. Yeah, there are ghettos where people actually do, rob people, do steal people's cars. They do all the things that you see on TV and on the news and shit. But it's everywhere is not like that. You know what I'm saying? I have more white people approaching me as I'm getting into my car, and I live, in a relatively, mixed, nice neighborhood, to where if you call the cops, they come in within 10, 15 minutes. But, I still all up and down the street. It's kind of like a highway. All up and down the street, I get approached more by white people begging than I do by black people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I see the Lashid and Oh, go ahead, Concha. Sorry.
Oh, well, I was just, in closing, I'm just saying it's I know that, it's I fear white people out here more, than I fear my own people. Now, I see homeless black people, when they approach me, I give them stuff. When white people approach me, I don't give them shit. But, you know what I'm saying? I get approached by more white homeless people that be looking like they got it on their mind than I do by my own people, and I'm in between both of them.
We got a lot of homeless white people up here. When Kay came up here and spent a week with me, she said she had never seen so many homeless white people in her life.
Just don't think you're safe living around. Don't think you're safe. That's a farce.
No, I never thought that at all. I talked about that in videos on my channel.
They'll steal from you in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
So, white people, they just stole a whole country.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I just want to acknowledge that Lashid and LA joined our hangout. So I wanted to go back to the original subject. What did y'all think about this Saneter?
Hey, girl, hey, Miss Legit.
Miss Legit, yeah, Miss Legit.
What's up, y'all? I don't know if y'all can hear me.
What's up?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Possibilities, Lashid, Renee, what's going on?
What up? Hey, how y'all doing?
What y'all thought about that whole Saneter?
Y'all won't come after the popcorn.
Well, I went over there. they've been doing a lot of live shows, and I've been going over there trying to chop it up with some of the brothers. I was chopping it up with Oh God earlier, and I was telling him, how is this a good look for us? And I was saying something earlier on my show. I was saying that why don't we have elders and people that we respect enough that we wouldn't even do that around if they're in the building?
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I just want to tell y'all real quick. Somebody was just on Tommy. It was, you know, some black lady. I think her name is Renee.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened?
They cut him to pieces. They cut him from top to bottom.
Okay.
Love it.
And of course,
What show is that? What is that?
he had to go to the point to say, just don't call my line. Don't call the line anymore. You know, he kept saying Renee.
I love it.
He kept saying, this is Renee. So I don't know. You know, everybody was saying it's Renee, but I don't know who it was. But I'm gonna just let you know. Y'all might want to go back and you know.
I'm gonna have to check
That's
that
kind
out.
of funny, Renee. Funny, Renee, because I played me and Tommy's first debate on my show tonight. I destroyed that lying ass. He ain't even worth talking about. Until somebody else whoop his ass, I ain't making no video about it.
So Renee, what do you think about this whole Saneter thing? What do you think about that? Have you been keeping up with that?
Man. Yes, somebody got some feedback, I think. But
that was me.
Yeah, I think it's really I think it's really sad. I think it's really disgusting. I mean, I, you know, am cool with all of them. Seti's been on my show. Pharaoh's been on my show several times. I've been on Saneter, you know. I'm cool with him, but honestly, I'm just so over all of that because it was just very I mean, I don't want to say disappointing because I think that's the problem is we put a lot of these people on pedestals, you know, and I just expected a little bit better. I don't understand this idea that every time something is wrong, especially for people who are supposed to be the ones who are supposed to be teaching other people or putting themselves in a position to teach, that everything is public. Like like nothing can be handled privately. Like men can't talk behind the scenes and decide, okay, well, we're not going to go first, and then come out and give a unified front and say, well, the debate is off. We doing our own thing. They doing their own thing. Like,
Well,
what is
right.
that?
They treating it like battle rap. That's what it looked like to me.
That's what I was saying earlier. Exactly.
That's what that's what Saneter was saying. Saneter was saying that.
Yeah, so
I just wish all that energy would be devoted to building something, man. It's like I was saying earlier, it's like all that energy is wasted on senseless debates about things that really don't matter in the big scheme of things.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, it could have really been a good, because, you know, I always say I feel like we have to learn to walk and chew gum at the same time. Like, we have to learn to be able to do more than one thing. And it's like we get so preoccupied, like, so because somebody is beefing or disagree, that's got to cause this whole upheaval in everything.
I got
like,
a question for
no
possibilities when you get in
you know, and then it's people who are like vendors who come and make good money there to support their families. People network, people can build. We can do that. But what happens to the business savvy? What happens to being able to deal with each other in a respectful manner? So it was just sad to see.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I hear you. So LA, what were you gonna say?
Money motivated, you know?
Yeah, I got a question for you. And Lashee, I know they're hit dogs holler, but I'm not throwing a stone at you. But I wanna ask some new possibilities. What does he think about? I was thinking about why do these guys who all supposed to have the same goal come together to debate different ideologies?
Exactly.
What does that do? What does that do for anybody? So does the winner, does everybody supposed to learn from the teacher that wins the debate? I think that they should have lectures that are combined, where they just give the people the information. It shouldn't be any we're going against each other because we're not the enemy of each other. We're not supposed to be.
Yeah, I was saying it was like a pissing contest.
It's like I mean, the competition.
They didn't lose sight. Yes.
Angel joined. What's going on, Angel?
Yo, peace.
Hey.
I'm not gonna stay for
How you
long.
doing,
Just
Oh
I
my
wanted.
God, hey Angel.
How y'all doing? I just didn't want to. I was typing out my response, but because you can't say that much, I don't know. I don't know if it was mentioned. I just want to just like put my little 2 cents in regards to the drama situation, like what I had noticed.
Okay.
I actually watched the Brother Polite and Saneter hangout live as it was going on, right? And when you understand the concept, when you understand what was happening, it was just basically that Saneter had asked the question, and he said it in a way to say, "Look, I need you to tell these people that without me, you wouldn't be the man that you are today." And it was said in a joking manner. And I'm not giving my opinion. I'm saying what was stated. Now,
Right.
Polite responded in another joking manner, and he said, "Yeah, you're right. You did give me the platform in order for me to, display my skills and my knowledge. However, I don't need you anymore because my name rings in bells that Saneter's name won't even reach. I'm all over the world. I'm global." Right?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
he said that.
That's
This is
that ego,
literally
man.
right. And Saneter was taken back by it. He was like, "What?" Because it wasn't supposed to go like that. Now, although Polite then came across like he was joking, after, he kind of like tried to like say, "No, but you're right, so thanks to my brother or whatever." But Saneter took it really personally. So then they started going back and forth on the same live hangout. Kind of like Saneter got really angry and was basically called him a fake and said, "How you gonna say that when he said you used me. You used me, and now you live with white people. You're a coon, etc., etc., etc." Polite got really Polite got really upset about this and was like, "What?" And then so Saneter decided to expose some things, but Saneter did it in a way where he said, "I don't want you. I don't want you to. I don't want you to lie about what's going on. Tell them that you're not truly about Black unity in the Black community." So he says, "Look, here's the deal." Saneter says, "I approached Polite and asked him if he would invest in this building, and he would promote so that we could get a GoFundMe started so that we can have a Black-owned business in regards to food, and it would have been a giant grocery store, like a giant big grocery store, and it was going to be in Harlem." Now, obviously, the idea is great, and he said you didn't want to donate a single penny, you wouldn't even promote it, you didn't want to help at all because you just care about yourself. Polite turned around and said, "Look, I have experience in business. I've owned restaurants, businesses before I even came to the conscious community." Polite said, I don't ask anybody to donate. So for my own endeavors. So why would I ask my people to donate for your endeavors if I won't do it myself?" He said, "I never said that I'm gonna reject this, but I need to know some answers. How many how many people walk past this place? How many people are we gonna get visiting? Something square feet, square meter, all of it." And he said, Saneter didn't answer a single question. He just said, "Brother, listen, it's fine. This is not far from my block. Trust me, it's good." And he didn't give any real, and he said, "That's why I didn't do that." So it kind of went with that. Saneter starts talking about, "You've double crossed me a couple times. I know that there's been threats, and if I die, et cetera, et cetera."
That was just too much.
A lot of dirt started getting put out there, like getting exposed on Saneter's side. And when I watched it, I sat there like, I think Polite was joking, right? But Polite didn't take, he wasn't considerate of his brother's feelings that, "I'm joking, brother, man, I'm joking though. Like, of course, without you, I couldn't do X, Y, and Z, right?" And I think that that's what was necessary. With everything that's going on now, you have to understand it's about money. A lot of it is money. You have to look at Saneter as Tariq Nasheed. And when I say that, I don't mean in the same concept of, misogyny or anything like that. I mean, Tariq Nasheed gave a platform for real scholars and historians of African history to spit their truth and, give it to the world. Saneter did that. Remember, Saneter is a man that he built up this platform. He was doing DVDs early in New York, everywhere from back in the day, just putting it out there before even YouTube was going off like this. Now everyone comes to Saneter to, you know, and Saneter gives you that platform. However, is Saneter truly, you know, preaching the way these other scholars and these other brothers are? No, not really. Saneter knows that it's all about money, and Saneter knows what it's about. Why does he know it's about money? I've seen a lot of exposés where they talk about, I think it was, they will charge $20 for people to watch private live streams, and they may have thousands of people watching. And I think one of the exposés was about, they made 40 grand from one of these private live streams, and it was like an hour or two. But everyone complained that the information they got is nothing new, nothing they haven't seen. They didn't learn anything new. Then the question was, where does this 40 grand, where does it go back into the community? It turned out the 40 grand was split between 3 people, none of which put it back into the community. Now, of course, when you do something, you're entitled to make money from it. You're entitled to pocket some of that money. But when we talk about consciousness and unity within the community, you would at least think with 40 grand that you would put 50% of the earning of the profit towards helping the community in some sort of way. So a lot of things are there about money. Now, with the Pharaoh Allah talking about sabotaging of the events and stuff like that, because although Saneter may be bigger, you know, than say Seti or Pharaoh Allah, a lot of people want to hear what Pharaoh Allah is saying and what Seti's saying. And the sabotage, I believe, from what I got told, is that it was set out on the same day, sabotaging the event. It's now about money, and it's about ego. They've lost the path of what they originally started on. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
exactly.
It's like, you know, when we talk about, damn, man, I remember when it was about the music, man. You know, now it's about the money. It's exactly the same thing. The conscious industry is now an industry, you know? And
right, yeah, that's the thing that disgusts me out. It has become more about profit instead of the people.
Exactly. And it's like one of I can't remember who commented this on my video, but I commented it here. One of the sisters, I can't remember. I wish I could remember her name. And she commented and put me onto this, and it really resonated with me. And she said, it's not about the truth, it's about the knowledge. And I think from what I got from that is that it's about who can give the most information and get paid for giving the most information. Because truth is free. Truth is free. You know, the truth don't give a fuck about your opinion.
But Angel, hold on. What do you think about Saneter asking Polite to ask Ron Artest for money for the building?
To ask Ron Artest? Well,
yeah, he asked Polite to ask Ron Artest.
Okay. Well, I think like with Polite didn't want to put his name to something. He didn't want to put his name to something that he didn't truly believe in, that he thought was not solidified, and he didn't want it to fail. For example, if you come to me, like, I know of you, LA, but I don't really know you. So excuse any ignorance I may have. If LA comes to me and said, Angel, I want you to help me promote X, Y, and Z. And I ask you and I say, okay, brother, man, I need you to give me some info on it so that I know that because my name means something to me. It might not mean anything to anybody else, but it means something to me. So before I put my name to this, can you please like convince me and reassure me? Now, if you won't do that, then I'm not going to tell anybody else.
Okay, but see, that's kind of funny though, because Saneter put his belief and his promotion behind Polite. So he would think that him being his you know what I'm saying, his advisor and his helper to get him where he at, he would have the same type of respect and that he know what he's talking about and he know what he's doing.
I agree with you there. I agree with you there in terms of, you know, saying, well, you know, well, I did that for you. Would you repay back the favor? Obviously, my example was based on me not knowing you like that. But I think a lot of it as well is that because we talk about egos, another aspect of that could possibly be that if Saneter managed to get their building out there, that's a beautiful thing. We no longer have to shop in white-owned grocery stores. And Saneter would have been, you know, his name would have been ringing everywhere, like all over the world for something, you know, that's monumental. And maybe, you know, Polite, just the ego aspect, Polite was like, nah, I don't want you to do that because I didn't do it. I didn't come up with it. You know, I'm not gonna help you.
Well, I look at it more like we don't trust each other. We've been taught and trained not to want to do business with each other. We like to second guess each other. I believe that you know what I'm saying? I believe that he should have rolled with that. Saneter believed in him, rolled with him, got into a place where he don't need Saneter no more. So if Saneter is asking him to reach back and give a little, I think he shouldn't have a problem with it.
We don't believe in each
point
other.
I hear your point, Angel, about his name, like his name being attached to this and that. But there's a lot of negativity around Polite's name as well. Like a lot of people associate him like that. You know what I'm saying? So if he sees it seems like that would have been a great opportunity. And I don't know the ins and outs of it. There may have been legitimate questions about it. Lashid is on here. So Lashid, what do you think about this? Have you been keeping up with this?
I had to get back in, being that my computer like straight up froze. I had like 1,000,001 tabs open, working on my Bible related series on carbon dating and all that Neolithic era. But yeah, I haven't really been following what's been going on with. I've seen the topic titles, but I haven't really been following what's been going on with Saneter, young Pharaoh. I just know that I did unsubscribe from Saneter a while back. Of course, I have my biblical beliefs and everything, and also it wasn't even so much that, because I'm subscribed to people who are like part of the Kemetic Society, those who are atheist, agnostic, and all that. But it's just that when I saw them all getting caught up in all this debating, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say Kemetic Society versus Hebrew Israelites versus Moors. Right. It's like they had this whole East Coast, West Coast thing going on. And, that just, I don't see that as being productive, despite our, differing, beliefs and all that. I just don't see Saneter TV as, just not for me. I don't think they've been really all that productive. And then that whole thing with Tommy, Brother Polite. And,
right, yeah. How do you explain that? Why would they work with Tommy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I'm questioning a lot. But at the same time, it's like I have double feelings about this, because it just seemed to be all of this damn exposing everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you don't follow them, don't follow them. But it's like everybody, there's too much of this exposing, and it is putting in us like this feeling of distrust within our own people. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, with Dr. Umar Johnson, and the whole thing. I understand that if, you're going to be a leader and you don't always choose to be a leader, you do have to, lead by example or but I mean, the brother, he's not a preacher. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel, it's like, okay, like for instance, there's a YouTuber, and I'm still subscribed to him, and I mentioned them before, like Keyboard Musician, and he be just exposing it. And I'm still subscribed because, I'm very interested.
He's an idiot, Lashid. What are you talking about?
But no, the thing is, I'm one of those people, I'm like one of those conspiracy theorists. But I still listen, because I'm one of those people, like, I'm nosy like that when it comes.
Well, you need to subscribe to me again, because I got some exposed video. He been doing underground videos on me, but people sent them to me. He did about 5 videos on me. He's so disrespectful and hateful of other people.
Oh, he did videos on you. I didn't catch that. I've been subscribed.
Yeah. He did about 4 of them. Somebody had to send them to me. He put them on some different website.
Yeah, but it's like, damn, he be exposing any and every brother that could be seen as a leader. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's wrong on everything, but I'm like, damn, Professor Grill.
Humor me right quick. Humor me new possibilities. Does not Keyboard Musician remind you of different people that like don't have a message, but all they do is go around talking about you going a message.
Like he's another mad head, basically.
Wow. Yeah, it's a lot of them out here.
Mad head. I mean, that's a great point that you made about Mad Head. It's like he doesn't have his messages to undermine everybody else's message.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I checked.
And that's what drove him crazy. That's what drove him to do the video he did to you.
The nail on the head. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that one, man, because that's what it comes down to. It's like all he does is criticize people, and his criticisms and analysis, sometimes they're on point, but it's like he doesn't have his own message. Like he doesn't have his own agenda outside of criticizing people and breaking them down,
Yeah.
Well, I've been checking out some of the recent videos, you know, after your video defending yourself, because I'm not subscribed to Mad Ed. In fact, I've blocked him because he's kind of like
you blocked
a bugaboo. But
What did he do to you, Machine?
well,
Why did
you
you
know, I
block him?
told you I seen him when the first time I had peeked, only time I peeked into Slap His Hangout, because I was like, let me see what this whole thing about with the hangouts and everything. And it's like maybe like 3 minutes after I peeked in, I'm seeing my name and he talking about I deserve to get raped and shit like that. I was like, oh, this fool crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna say it affected me. I'm like, okay, I see this ain't the place for me, and I never click back in. But he posted that. But what I see going on, because I've been checking out his videos lately, ever since your video. You know, like I've been referring to him as the mad agent. You know, I've noticed how he's. Yeah, I noticed how he may come at me, but I'm used to it. You know,
that's hilarious.
Hey, he coming most definitely.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, he will be doing it right after you.
Who's next? You know, I'm used to this shit. But I'm just saying, like, okay, I'm noticing how he's finding reasons to so-called expose the pro-blacks, but he's underhandedly, defending those who would be seen as traitors. You know, and I've noticed with one of his videos, okay, he's pointing out the good that certain people who we would call coons, what they actually do for their community. But you got to understand, these people are part of, they are part of the, as El Dot would call it, coonalati. They have gotten, you know, they have gotten, I had to take it along with it. They have gotten in certain positions of power, whether they be part of, as Steve Coakley would point out, secret societies or whatever shoe shining and ass kissing that they've done to get to certain positions. And of course, so we see them as working harder than the so-called Hotep brother or whatever. We see them as having more discipline and being more responsible. And so then once they get to this position, they throw bones at the community. You know what I'm saying? And we're supposed to see them as contributing to the community because they may drop some dollars off in donations and this and that. And, you know, but you have to consider all that they're doing and poisoning the minds of so many and kissing the asses of, you know, so yeah, they've gotten to, I'm not saying that they don't have hard work and ethics, but many of them, a lot of us are hard working. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are, but many of them have gotten to their positions through being a part of the Kunalati. And you know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm listening to Mad Agent's video, you know, and he's just trying to find everything, every little thing possible to and I'm not saying I agree with all these brothers that he's pointing out, these pro-black figures and leaders. I'm not saying I totally agree with him, but it's like, damn, you know, it's like he's a rebel without a cause. What you gotta look at, what is his intentions? Okay, what is his you know, so I just see it as him as an agent, obviously.
But, you know what, but it's a testament to the sickness of Black people that the term pro-Black will be used in a way as a joke or as a way
that's what they're trying
to demean or attack somebody or insult somebody.
I got a question for Renee. When she get done.
When would you hear somebody like pro-Mexican or pro East Indian or whatever, and other Mexicans or other East Indians make fun of those pro-East Indians or those pro, like who else would do that?
Right.
Yeah,
like you see Jewish people running around saying, and the white Jews, you know, do you see them running around? Oh, they're pro-Jew. Ha ha ha. I mean, really?
And that should be an automatic. We shouldn't even have to categorize. But I accept it. You know, I'm cool with it because you know I am for Black. So
looked at like why, like it's intimidating to say, you know, you love your people or Black love is real. Everybody's throwing up they love up in our faces and stuff. And I've been driving it in the ground. I love black men. I love black women. Black love is good. I'm promoting the shit. I mean, I'm promoting the big time.
I wanna ask the whole panel a quick question. I want to ask y'all, why does every time, I want somebody to explain what it means. Why every time we talk about somebody that we kind of admire and that we kind of like, you know, think that's positive for us, why do we always have to say, well, I don't agree with everything. I mean, like every different person, individual, we always have to say, well, I don't agree with everything you said. So what does that subconsciously mean we're doing?
That's like saying not all. You know,
do you know why we do that?
We're trying to automatically find. To me, I feel
it's
like
basically you dissing the person before you even give them props. Like,
you know why we do that on a psychological level? Why we actually do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Okay, I don't know anyone else who's has a degree in certain. I have a degree in psychology, and what we do on a level is we want to disassociate ourselves from any possible negativity that other people connect with that person. So although we may agree with a whole bunch of stuff that they say, we might even agree with pretty much everything. But because there may be negative connotations with that person, we want to let people know, oh, but I don't agree with everything they say, because we don't want to hold that whole stigma. And that's not even.
I'm saying, is that a good thing to do before you mention every pro-black?
Well, we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to do that. But a lot of times when we do that, it's responding to someone, like for instance, me talking about mad agent, who may bring something out or want to point something out negative. So it's like we're in a defense mode. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? But usually it's in response. That response is in response to someone who want to point out what we shouldn't be supporting. You understand what I'm saying? Like
I think what LA is like trying to point out is that if you support somebody, like in terms of like, if you're like, yo, I like this brother, I like this sister, I support their message. You know, when you treat like somebody like it's your brother, or your actual brother, your friend, and you say, listen, I might not agree with everything this person says, but I'm not going to let you know that, because they're my brother and I'm going to support them wholeheartedly. Right. It's like back in the day in school, my friend might have done something wrong and I might not agree with him, but I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to kick your ass with him. And then afterwards, I'm going to look at him and go, why the fuck did you get me involved in this situation? You know you were wrong for that. But I'm not going to let you know that, though.
You know when I seen people really started doing that?
Too well, huh?
Real quick, Lashee does it. Lashee goes a step further. And it's not a diss because you're my sister, Lashee, but you go a step further.
Come on,
you also you disassociate yourself with people's message by saying, I don't support everything he does, and then you take it a step further and let them know even further that, oh, well, I'm not subscribed to this person's page either. You know?
You do that. I'm sorry. You know I'm gonna be upfront.
No, I'm not talking about. No. She does that with everybody like that.
You're talking about.
But I was
like, even if she to let you know she likes a person more, she'll let you know that she subscribed to him too.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say to y'all was back when Farrakhan was on the circuit, on the media, white media circuit, and he was really pushing his message out there, you would hear this same message that y'all saying. Well, and then the Nation of Islam all included and stuff. Well, I understand what the Nation of Islam message is and stuff, but I don't totally agree with Farrakhan. And even Farrakhan even say, I'm the litmus test. They still using him as the litmus test. Like, oh yeah, there was a one time he was supporting Farrakhan. Do you still support him? Do you do you believe in all of that?
Right, it's all about fear. I think the bottom line is fear, man.
But think about Donald Trump. Do you hear white people say that? They don't say that.
No, not at all.
Well,
they work for the badge of honor.
Yeah, unless you push them on it. And you say, well, he said this, and this, and that. Then they might say, well, yeah, I don't really agree with that. But they never come out and say it first. But we do that. Yeah.
It's like I'm going to diss my brother before I give him props.
No. Like up in here, okay, like for instance, in regards to you, L. Dot, up in here, usually I'm responding with they're not coming at me. They're coming with me, let's say, do you know the L Dot do this, that? That's how they coming at me. So you okay with?
But see, that wasn't a person. That wasn't a personalized question, though. I think do possibilities think that I was?
I'm using that. I'm just using that as an example. Like, for instance, if they comment, okay, for instance, what's another thing? Like someone tried to come at me with the something that Khalid Muhammad said. You know, a YouTuber had and trying to paint me as, you know, they had my voice with they had me talking in support of Khalid Muhammad in the background, playing what he said in regards to killing white women and so, you know, it's like
you got set up, family.
That's doing the most.
Yeah, now back then I was like, well, I didn't know he said all this now, whereas now it's like and you know, because I understood now what he was responding to, you know. At that time I didn't hear what he said, kill the white women, the babies, and you know, that's you know, they were playing this little mind games and shit. But when I heard the speech in its entire context, and plus considering how I feel now today about white folks, especially after watching how they had no regards for a baby. They cared more about a damn gorilla. So now, you know, you won't see me. Well, I don't agree with Khalid on this, you know. I'm back.
Right, and I think that it all comes down to fear. Like in terms of LA's question, a lot of people are just scary like that. They don't want to identify with somebody that's bold and strong. They want to put out all these qualifiers so they can't be tarnished, and so their reputation won't be affected, and so they won't have to deal with repercussions. Like a lot of these people are dependent on white people for their existence. Like they depend on them for jobs. They depend on them for money. They depend on them for attention and publicity. So they don't want to offend them. So they are more afraid of these white people than they are afraid of God.
Yeah, that's true.
They tremble. So they come up with all these excuses. They want to disassociate themselves from people like Farrakhan. Just like you saw Barack Obama doing it in the 08 election. They constantly ask these people about their associations with Farrakhan, and they're doing the same thing to Keith Ellison now.
Yes, they are.
Chair of the Democratic National Committee, and he's eager to say, well, I don't support Farrakhan now, even though back in the day he was defending Farrakhan. He was selling the Final Call paper. He was a member of the Nation of Islam. It's all about cowardice. That's what it comes down to.
Could I just say something? It's completely unrelated. Just completely unrelated for a moment. Because the brother Robert J. Powell asked me a question about narcissism, you know, and racism, and obviously I pointed out that racists, you know, suffer with narcissistic personality disorder. And at the very moment that I said that, because I'm just approving my comments on my channel right now, and I'm just having a look, and on a video, I have a video that says Black people invented everything, and obviously it's clickbait, but it talks about all of the inventions that we have created, and just to reiterate my statement there to Robert, this white person commented and said, now do a video on the things white people invented. You know, let's talk about blah, 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 blah. And it just shows you about the narcissistic personality disorder. They can never allow somebody, you know, other nations to have anything. Oh, if you're going to have that, we got to have that too. Yeah. If you want this, we got to have that too. We got to have it better. We got to, you know. So,
you should have did the video. You should have put mass murder, bestiality, cannibalism, all of that. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what? You know what? I might actually do it.
What y'all think about this? What y'all think about? Okay, there's a sister RWS #exposed. And she was questioning. I hear something in the background. She was questioning. Yeah, I do too. She was questioning why are we, or she was saying why are Black men afraid to turn that TV? Yeah.
Somebody got background.
That's I can't pronounce her name, but
okay,
okay. She was saying like, why are Black people afraid to practice racism? What do y'all think about that?
Hey, I made a video about that, Lashee. You don't remember it?
Oh no!
I said that this is how we're backwards. Think about it. We have suffered the most racism. We have the most reason to be racist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know,
but the fact that they have more white racists shows you how evil they are. But we need to stop trying to be morally just and try to get some goddamn justice.
Every other group of people though has no problem. every other group of people has no problem with talking about their superiority, like
Exactly.
at all.
But
We're the only. It's not even that we're the only ones. We are the ones that are made to feel
bad.
like, feel bad about it. For example, being pro-white, there's no issue with being pro-white, pro-Asian, pro-Indian, whatever, pro-Arabic, whatever, right? When is it? What's his name? Mr. Chan had said that the reason black people will never get on is because black people can't work together, and they're always looking for a handout from the people that hate them. And he stated that black people will come to him and ask him for a job. He said, I'm not going to give you a job before I give my brother a job. I'm going to give my brother a job because my money goes back to him. His money comes back to me. That's how great economy works. And then you hate me. And he said, that's not racist. That's being pro my own people.
No.
Because I want to, with black people, we constantly are told, like, for example, I have a shirt, obviously when I come out, it says black love, but I have a shirt that says black women only. My woman has one that says black men only. Now, I got all of this hatred from white people. Oh, that's racist. The shirt's racist. What about white women? Blah, 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 blah. Now, I want to point something out. I know I've seen a brother, right? A Muslim brother who has a shirt that says Muslim women only. I guarantee you, white people would not dare say a word. They wouldn't even dare say to him, oh, what about Christian women? They wouldn't dare and they wouldn't care. The reason it's the issue for us is because they don't want us to have a superiority.
Exactly.
They don't want us to feel our superiority. And
I wanted to add it in once you finish, Angel.
And I was just saying, someone asked me, someone wrote a comment once and they said, I don't think I'm pro-black, but I don't think I'm better than anybody else. And I responded on Instagram and I said, that's our problem.
Yeah,
that's our problem. That we lack the superiority. We lack our belief. So everyone else is happy to say, I'm the best. I'm this. Look at us. Look at our nation. We created this. We did this. We just want, it's like we care about everybody's feelings. We want to tiptoe around oh no, but won't somebody care about the white people? No. My own woman says I'm extreme. I made a post, and in the caption on the description on my private Instagram, it said, bring on the white people tears. And she said, Angel, you can't say stuff like that. And I'm like, I can. And I should be able to say stuff like that. That's not being racist, because when people say, oh, Black Lives Matter, and I'm not a part of BLM or anything like that, but when people say Black Lives Matter, is a racist organization, it's just like the KKK. My question is, so how many white people have Black Lives Matter hung from trees and lynched? How many white people are they oppressing?
But I was trying to speak. What I wanted to say is these things that other races doing and do for their people, hire their own people, and then in this white supremacist system that we're in, the things that they are doing that we'll say, damn, why are they doing A, B, C, and D? That is exactly what they're supposed to do. As wrong, as corrupt, as injustice as it may seem, as it is to us, that's what they're supposed to do. And the reason why we question what they do, because that's what we will do. That's our hearts. And the thing that I've been saying the same thing Angel been saying. I've been saying that we are superior, we are wise, we are chosen. I say all kind of positive words. White people come to my channel and say that I am crazy. And then you know what I'll say to them? I say the only reason why you're coming to my channel because I have full control of you and that you're listening to these messages. I will counteract that. I will mess with their head. I'll make
what the difference?
But
you know what the difference between? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Renee.
It's my favorite. My favorite, Dr. Amos Wilson, and he talks about the fact that for us to even exist in this particular paradigm, we have to be literally insane. We have to be literally out of our African minds, and that we live in an opposite world. So that means everything good is bad and everything bad is good.
Correct.
Example, if we talk about even just the interracial relationship situation, people say when you talk about being, you know, Black people getting with each other, other Black people will say, oh, well, that's wrong. We can't do them how they did us. We can't do that to them. Now, wait a minute. That's a completely opposite state of mind.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Right, but why are you not looking to continue on your people when you know all of these forms of genocide are being used against you? Another one, in our community, we have a problem with marriage. Let's keep it funky. We have a problem with marriage in our community. And so that people will then see having a baby mama as more acceptable than having a wife. That is backwards. If you are married, you can get divorced. And when you have children with somebody, even after the children are 18, you're forever connected because you're the parents of that particular child, of that person. So we think in this very backwards state of mind and think that what we're doing is correct, when what we're doing is absolutely destructive to our own existence.
We're mirroring the system. That's what we're doing. We're mirroring the system in our lives. We're looking at the media and everything, and we're mirroring it and actually trying to have the system, unquote, in our household. And I say, no, you don't have to have that in your household. You keep that system outside of your household and you set your own standards within your domain, whatever that thing is that you want to set. And it you know, whoever's in the household, you set your own code of conduct and everything. You have to start with that code of conduct and all of that first in the collective household. Then after the collective household, hopefully all of us are doing it, and it will bleed out in the surrounding.
Well, it starts with love.
Am I wrong in making an assumption that everybody on this panel in their own community is considered as a crazy person?
Oh,
yes,
I've been. Oh, hell yeah. Me talking about Michael Jackson's death, warning them about Michael's death. I'm a conspiracy nut. You know,
I'm a mini Farrakhan.
I'm too radical. I'm too pro-Black. Like I'm scared of, you know, like I
don't even know where I'm classed in there. I'm like, everybody fucking hates me.
Okay, so I'm making an assumption that we're probably like one of the only people in our whole family, in our generation, that studies and researches and tries to learn more. But to everybody around us, we're crazy.
Well, you know what it is? You know what it is? It's like we don't practice racism as Black people because we're too compromised.
Well, you know what I was gonna say is kind of related to that. I said the difference when we talk about superiority, right, and pro-Blackness, white supremacy, etc. There's a big difference. Even if Black people feel that they are superior, either intellectually, physically, spiritually, whatever, we don't feel the need to validate this by putting down the other races and destroying them and enslaving them and murdering them all. That's the difference. When you look at the history of white society, when people talk about I hate white people, it's not white people, it's white society, white culture, white history. They have a history. In order to put forward their superiority, we must take everybody else out. Right, that's what we got to do. Christopher Columbus stated that the way he was going to destroy the Native Americans was because they were so peaceful that they would just, you know, he said 50 men with guns can destroy the entire Native American nation. And this is throughout their history what white people do. When they feel that they're at jeopardy, they will go to extremes and they will murder. Now in others, and I don't know, and I'm not bringing in religion, however, but with Caesar, I am, but I'm not. But with Caesar, his whole concept was to take over the entire globe. And where Caesar couldn't take over the entire globe, the Bible was there, and they presented the Bible in order to pacify everybody else. Where I can't do it, quote unquote, God can. And no matter how you feel about it or not, the Bible is there was there originally to pacify the Jews or the Hebrews.
Oh, right? Shit.
I'm saying, I'm linking.
You know, I can't co-sign that. You
can't. But the thing is, listen, the reason I'm linking it into the superiority complex.
The reason I'm linking it to Angel, please let me make one point real quick. You walked right into my next question, without even knowing it.
Go ahead.
This is the thing I'm saying. Now we was building, we was thinking about, we was working towards something. When you bring, as soon as you bring religion into it,
it's over with.
It's over.
It's not over.
Well, no, you're right. No, you're
But
right.
you have to understand. I haven't said.
I'm not religious. All right, let me explain.
But see, the thing is, y'all blaming religion. I didn't even elaborate on religion.
Here's the thing. Let me explain. Okay. I'm gonna go there, but I'm not gonna go there if I can.
I'm gonna go there too.
Because here's the thing. You don't want to go there with me, all right? But here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing. Let me explain this with you. All right. A book cannot be, all right, evidence of its own veracity. Okay. This is a fact. We all agree with this. In a court of law, I look at new possibilities in this. In a court of law, that would be considered as circumstantial evidence, right? So it's not real.
According to a colonial system.
Right.
But wait. However, a colonial system which makes you put your hand on the Bible, all right, before you give evidence, right?
Exactly.
The witness. So you can talk about it, you can link it all together, right? You can link it all together. Now, the thing about us is we have so many dogmas and indoctrinations that keep us within a particular system. Everything is about control. Everything, okay? Where politics can't control us, religion can. They say, my father used to say that religion is the right hand arm of politics. They work hand in hand.
But what is
together.
religion, though? What is religion?
Oh, see what I told you, Angel? You know,
wait. Hold on. How are we starting?
I'm not here to
Wait. Hold on. How are we starting something? Wait. Hold up. How are we starting something? Now, it's funny. We starting something when I respond. That's what I don't understand.
No. See. Look,
what I'm trying to say.
Make you feel like
it's when I respond that we starting.
All I'm saying is, I know you're very passionate about how you're
supposed to be. That's fake.
You know, and I know when things like
everyone's entitled to their belief system. Everybody's entitled to their belief system.
I know when it's
for some this discussion, I'm sitting back.
Everybody's entitled to their belief system.
Pointless, dude. I want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, don't do that, new possibility.
You know what? If we go,
I'm going to stand. No, I'm going to stand.
Okay.
No, it's not about a religion. Because first of all, what is religion, though?
Well, here's the thing. All right. We, as people of Africa, as descendants of Africa, we are the children of Africa, right? Whether we are African diaspora, but we are the children of Africa. Okay, we didn't have religion; we had spirituality. All right. I know Brother Possibilities is Muslim, and I know Lashid is Christian. All right. However,
no, I'm not Christian.
You're not Christian.
She's Jehovah Witness.
No, she.
I'm not Jehovah's Witness.
No.
Well, she was.
No, she identifies with the
Okay.
You know, the
either way. That's right now. It's apples and pears for the point that I'm making.
It's another form of separation, man.
Okay.
Go ahead, though.
Well, I mean, but you got. Why is it we see religion? Wait, but I don't understand. Why is it we see religion as a form of separation? And see, religion, okay, as defined, the belief in and worship of a superhuman control and power, especially a personal god or gods, a particular system of faith and worship system. Okay, this could just be your beliefs. You could say you're spiritual or but this just basically has to do with your beliefs in regards to the origin of life and when it is organized, when there is a system, not necessarily a movement, but I mean, religion, I feel that evolutionists are religious, especially when they are on a mission to debunk what they see as religion. They are missionaries in their own way. And so I'm just saying, I'm just speaking, I can't put aside my faith. It's just like telling a person, put aside your blackness, put aside your femininity, put aside that does not mean that we cannot come together and agree on certain things. But
I think it needs to be left out. Like I think it needs to be left out when we're trying to progress.
Okay, would you join us? The children. That's like saying, because this has to do with my beliefs in regards to the origin of my existence. That's like saying, okay, leave out your children, But you know,
can I make a quick point though? See, think about how you were very adamant about which religion that you wanted to claim or whatever faith you wanted to claim. Think about all of the different religions they name. Now think about if we got 100 people or 500 people in a room, how many different religions in there? We could be talking about one thing and then everybody start representing their religion once religion come in play.
But that's not the only thing that represents a person, though. I mean, we could. You can use that. It's just usually it's when there's that intolerance. Now, people like, for instance, it's funny. Psycho-atheist. He is the person I'm least likely to let's say get in the back and forth. He's atheist. He's been very cool with me, and I've been cool with him. And he'll express his beliefs and stuff. You know, we can say, well, maybe because he doesn't really say anything, but he is tolerant, just like I'm tolerant of him. He knows that I'm going to say, you know, I know where he comes from. And he's going to express it, and he doesn't have this, you know, people say, well, maybe because he's just not really saying much at all. But I know where he stands. He's expressed himself to me basically on what he believes. You know, like he just made a little post or something a minute ago that kind of made me laugh.
Okay, is there possibilities from a different religion than you?
Yeah, I'm a Muslim.
Yeah, right. Right, he's a Muslim, and we hear each other.
Yeah, I'm a Christian, but I learned from Farrakhan. So isn't that a twist?
Right, exactly. Of course, I don't follow, you know, but I don't follow everything you say, and I must say that. But
I don't either.
You know, I'm still basically we can still work together.
Yeah, I think
that's the kind of, and I don't have to put my beliefs at the door, and he don't have to put his beliefs at the door. You know,
I have a lot of people coming to my channel arguing about religion, and how I get people to quiet down a little bit is I always ask them what religion is God, and nobody can answer it. You know, they can't answer it because God is not a religion. But I'm in total agreement with Lashid. There is no way possible that somebody say, okay, we're going to put that to the side and we're going to do A, B, and C, and D.
Right.
See, let me finish. I did a video about this just recently because some people are afraid. Let me say something. Some people are afraid to talk about being whatever their faith is. And I was saying that I'm not a weak-willed Christian. I'm the type of Christian that believe in fighting back. I'm not saying pray and then just hope the person be nice to me and stuff like that. Now, God, in my mind, is black. That's how I think. That's just how I think.
Well, that's
the things that I.
I just want to make one quick point.
Well, God, based on your research.
Hold on, y'all, 1 second. I just wanted to make one point, and that's like, I think Lashid's point about tolerance is key. Yes. From religious beliefs. Like some people don't believe at all. Some people believe in God. Some people are quote unquote spiritual. I think the whole thing is about tolerance. It's like you hold firm to your beliefs without compromising them, but you don't have to trample on other people's right to believe.
Exactly. I don't believe in on others, you know, beliefs.
Here's the thing. Like what I was gonna say was that when you talk about what's the difference between religion and spirituality, right? Religion is about doing what you're told and believing the words of another, regardless if you believe it's right or not. That is what religion preaches. Spirituality is about doing what's right, regardless of what you're told, right?
That's why I say
now for somebody like me, I believe religion is man-made and spirituality is God-made. I look at it as God gave us the word and then man plagiarized it, right? So to benefit him, okay? And Ebony Sun God has stated that, you know, debate in religion is, you know, it's an ongoing debate and never ends. The reason why it is that there's two arguments here. I'm not an atheist by any stretch of the imagination. I believe in God. That's the funny thing. I believe in God. I'm spiritual. I just don't believe in the religion of my oppressors, and I refuse to. And we can go into that. But the fact that I believe in God, maybe not your God, but I believe in God, and I believe in one God. I don't believe in no, you know, elephant or anything like that. But the simple fact is that when you somebody like me, I believe in spirituality. I believe in God. I believe everything that I know is right and whatnot. I'm not therefore gonna read books and read other books and keep reading, educating myself and look at oppression. Okay, what has been used to oppress me. However, I have learned something that some people simply need to be told what to do via a book. They can't make their own decisions, and for some people as well, they need another form that gives them blind faith. And if that makes them, feel better and do better things, then I'm all for it. I'm not against religion, right? I'm not against it, because if religion makes you feel good and has you living better, then by all means. However, once you open that Pandora's box and you start to delve into it, there's no way that, like Dr. Umar Johnson stated, whether you agree with him or not, he stated, how are you going to swap 2,000 years of Christianity for 200,000 years of African spirituality? It's the same as saying, all right, you give me I'll give you $2 million and swapping it for $2,000. It makes no sense. Now,
okay, go ahead.
And the point being that when I state these things, when you look at the differences with religion and spirituality and even atheism and things like that, the main two arguments are that for, say, Christians or Muslims or whatever it is, I believe, or it states in the Bible or the Quran. Those are the arguments. Those are the arguments. And you cannot debate. This is why a debate is futile. The reason you can't debate that is I'm never going to be able to debate somebody, no matter what evidence or facts that I present, to somebody that believes. When your faith is there. Here's the thing. Now, I can say to New Possibilities, you know what? The sky is red, right? But New Possibilities believes in blind faith that the sky is blue. Now, if I give him the evidence that is undisputed, it's not going to do a thing. It's not going to do a thing. He's not going to budge on it because of his belief and his blind faith, right?
Cognitive dissonance.
Okay, all right. If I may respond.
Thank you,
because it's interesting. It's interesting that when it comes to writings and books, we're okay when we go to a university and we're taught the laws of physics. We're taught the laws of, but there seems to be an issue when we are taught the laws in relation to what we refer to as spirituality. Now, there's a law pretty much.
I disagree. I disagree that you can even put that into the same argument.
There's a law. Okay, there's a law. I'm speaking in general. There's a law for everything, just about. There's laws in the universe, whether we see them as written. See, the thing is, what I believe, a lot of people who say that they are spiritual. Okay, see, you could be spiritual and believe in a God and the supernatural, but you don't necessarily believe in something written, or it being that it's just seen as written words. It's something that the white man created. We give the white man a little too much credit, I feel. We can follow the Kemetic, but something with the Bible, and of course it originated in Europe, I guess. But even though I'm doing videos, and that's what I've been working on, and sadly they don't get as many views. But to back up my faith, I'm not just talking on wishful thinking, and I don't follow something even if I feel it's wrong. These are things that have been proven right to me, and even the things that I'm not sure about, it always end up being proven to me.
Please,
and that is also wait, but hold on. Everything to a degree has a law, and a lot of times when people say I'm spiritual, because the thing is that people, they want to believe that there is a higher power or someone or something that's protecting them, but they don't want to follow any sort of code, any sort of law, so it's easier to say I'm a spiritual person. I do believe that there's something and somebody that's protecting me, or that can be watching over me, or there's a hope of me being resurrected, but I don't want to follow any sort of code or law or this,
But there are rules. There are rules. No, that's not true. There are rules. People that believe in African spirituality or African forms of religion, of course there are rules. I mean, at the end of the day, like Lashid, if I want to, you said that things have happened and you know what it is, et cetera, right? Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question. So from the moment you were born, I say to you, Lashid, if you're ever in a black room and you feel a hand touch you, that hand, in this black room and it's dark, you can't see a thing. That hand, and it has to be on your right shoulder, is God. If you ever feel that, that's God. And I tell you this every day of your life, every single day. One day, 20 years down the line, you're in this dark room and things are going on in your life and you're stressed or whatever, and you feel a hand touch you on your shoulder. You turn the lights on and it's gone. And all of a sudden, you're going to believe that that's God, right?
It all depends. I'm one of those people.
No. I'm asking. No.
But hold on. Let me answer it and how I'm going to answer it. I'm one of those people. If you're saying that this is just because this is what I've been told, this is what I've been told. My mother was the type, she didn't really go to church. I'm one of those type of people. I'm not saying that I don't listen to my mother. Of course not. You know, I listened to my mother. She was a very wise woman, but she was not one who really, she believed in God and she believed in the Bible, but she just didn't really go to church like that.
You know,
she didn't really know any scriptures. So
it's bigger than our parents.
I was first,
it's big,
but I'm one of those type, I investigate. It's also by faith, because I do realize the Bible is correct when it says the wisdom of this world is foolishness. I'm working on something now in debunking radiometric dating. And you'll find out a lot of what we have been taught is very much flawed. So it's not just a thing of, I believe this because I have wishful thinking. And this is
it's bigger than our parents, than what our parents told us. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I mean when I say that.
Okay.
I can guarantee you that you sat in that dark room after 30 years of being told that this will happen, you will believe it. You ain't got no other option but to believe that. If I tell you every single day of your life, right, that I feed you junk food and I tell you this is gourmet food, the one day that I present you actual gourmet food, you will not believe that it's gourmet food and you will think it's disgusting and that I'm trying to fool you, and you're not going to have it because you've been conditioned to believe this, right? You have it. And
Angel, are you spinning at 1,000 miles an hour right now?
Am I speaking at 1,000 miles an hour?
I saw you spinning at 1,000 miles an hour right now.
All right, we're not going to have that discussion.
You know what it is? I don't know what it is.
It's the same thing.
I understand what you say. The thing about me that I'm trying to explain is that we believe what we've been told, right? And we believe, especially, and it's bigger than our parents. Trust me, it's bigger than that. Society has been there from day one. What happened before?
It's not always necessarily what you told, Angel. It's also what you.
Exactly.
No, but
I have lost loved ones. It's also about what I know and miracles I've experienced as well as that.
This is the point that I was trying to get to. It's linked to that. When I said if you feel a hand touch you on your shoulder after being told that, okay, you believe that that's a higher being. You believe that that's God because you've been told that. However, it may be a higher being, but what if it's not the higher being that you thought it was? What if it's not Allah? What if it's not what if it's not Jah?
Answer.
Just wait one moment, please. Let me get to it.
I still ain't got my question here yet, man. What's going on?
Let me get to it, please. Let me get to it.
The
point that I'm trying to make, right?
It's important what he's saying.
How do you know that what it is? You know what it is that has touched you, on your shoulder. Let me get that clear. Not touched you. Whatever has touched you on your shoulder, that it is a higher being, because when you turn the light on, there's no one there, but you don't know what entity that is or what spiritual force that is. But because of your conditioning, you link that amazing miracle or wisdom that you've experienced to either the Bible or the Quran or Christianity. And I know God and Allah are the same person. Don't get me twisted. But you link it to these different things, right?
But the thing is, if I may in between, the thing is that you could apply that to a lot of things. We believe what we're taught in school. We believe, I'm not saying necessarily everything, but because the teacher says that, 2 + 2 is 4. Maybe I shouldn't use mathematics, but even in mathematics, certain things can be debunked. And we could say that certain things are culturally biased in mathematics, even I've learned. But what I'm saying is, even, okay, let me just get this out the way. Even if, let's say I'm wrong about the shoulder and it's just about what I'm taught. The thing I don't understand, let's say if this is what I believe, why does this affect anyone else? Like, I'm feeling like this does not necessarily mean I'm just saying this does not necessarily mean that I am oppressed. Let's say if I believe in unicorns. What I'm saying is, if I believe,
it's not about your belief in God, though. It's not about your belief in God.
Please give one question, man. I just got one question for the scene.
I will shut up after this.
I want to say something to Angel that's very important.
But wait, it's not. If I say this, hold
on, y'all, real quick. Let me ask his question, because a lot of people have already been talking, and question real quick, LA, and then everybody else can respond.
Okay. Okay, I see my cousin is sick. She's in the hospital. She's she's very sick. My mother and my auntie are on the phone. They're both sitting there praying for my cousin that's in the hospital, and they said, well, you almost died 3 times, and God saved you 3 times. My question is, didn't God also make us sick? I mean, I'm just curious.
No.
Can I like speak to that?
I wanted to answer. I wanted to speak next, and then I'll be quiet. What I wanted to say is, and I want to see if anybody can answer this question. If you have a child come to you and they don't know what God is yet, and they say, God is talking to me, the child ain't came up in the church, and say the child is 3 years old, would you believe the child?
Repeat that.
Can you repeat that, Troy?
I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm gonna say it one more time. If a child comes to you and you know they don't fully understand what God is yet, and that child say, God is talking to me, will you believe the child?
Interesting.
The majority of you will probably think the child was possessed. Right.
Okay.
But the thing is,
wait a minute, let me finish. Then you are talking to the child that would talk like that. Okay. I would talk like that to people when I was a child, and I would say, God talked to me. I never heard words. And my family had to start protecting me because, yes, they thought I was, unquote, something was wrong with me. I ain't possessed at all. But then as I started talking, some of the things that I would say would come true.
If I could just, the one thing that I was going to say is really linked to that. It really is. It's not, the belief in God is not the problem. I'm saying this on the record now. My belief, I believe God exists. All right. I believe that. It's not the belief in God is not the issue. If True Royal Family said that she believed when she was younger that God was speaking to her, whatever, that's not the issue. It's not, God ain't the problem. God is not religion. Okay?
Never said that.
No, I'm saying God is not religion. The belief in God is a beautiful thing. I believe that I don't believe God was a man, right? I believe God is a woman. However, some people disagree with me. However, it's not the belief. It's the doctrine that comes with the idea or the rhetoric of God and religion, i.e. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, etc., right? It's those things that I believe are the problem. When we talk about Christianity,
so why are you so opposed to religion? I mean, why is that such a big
every
issue?
belief is some sort of doctrine. There is some sort of, whether it's written, whether it's
when you have,
there's some sort of code with everything.
You have, for example, with Christianity, all right. Dr. Joseph Atwill wrote a book called Caesar's Messiah: The Roman Conspiracy to Invent Jesus. Okay, this is a white man. He destroys every little point in the Bible, right? And what he does is he explains to you and shows you via evidence in history why the Bible was created by
who?
the Roman emperors in terms to pacify the Jew. Well, you're gonna say no, but you can't. Here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. Can you prove to me right now, without the Bible, that it was not created by the Romans? And I want to just point something out. I want to point something out before you answer this. Before you answer this question. Okay, the Romans state that they are completely against Christianity, completely against it. They were the ones that were allegedly persecuting Christians, right? However, Dr. Joseph Atwill teaches that the Bible is used to pacify the Jews so that the Jews will bow down to Caesar because they wouldn't do it, right? So they had to create somebody who themselves was a Hebrew. And people listened to their own. However, isn't it funny that the Romans then became the most devout and the most all-empowering of all Christianity, the Pope, etc., Roman Catholic religion, and have used the Bible to destroy all other nations and societies. And then you look at it again and you turn around and say, hold on. When you look deeper in the Bible is pro-Roman. There are stories in it that are pro-Roman. Very pro-Roman. You can't say no.
And I have
when I can pull up
where the original written in Hebrew, New Testament as well. And see that's the problem. We get a white man, the European, too much credit. Okay, I could take anything, any book, and twist it and use it to manipulate and control people. Especially if I'm a conning, evil, wicked person. Who was it that initially translated or deciphered the Medunetter? White people. that does not mean that it originated with them. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we're going to give them, and see, the problem is with Black people, we limit ourselves to Africa. We limit ourselves to Africa. White people, they claim Europe, they claim Australia, they claim every continent, but we limit ourselves, Black people, to the African continent. We don't understand the land of Ham, and Ham, that is it's from the Bible. That's where you get Cam from. Like I said, that's where you get Cam. That's one of the most preserved names.
And the reason I can't continue is this, because there is the all-encompassing question is this: how do you know that the Romans didn't write that in Hebrew?
Okay, well,
right?
The thing
how do you know this?
But the thing is, if I make videos and I explain what I know, because you know it's a lot of detail to it, and no one's going to watch it because your mind is made up.
It does not change the fact. It does not change the fact, right? The emperor's henchmen were all named after all of the disciples. Right? It doesn't change that fact.
Do you believe that his name was Jesus? Do you believe? Do you understand that we as slaves we were singing Kumbaya? Kumbaya.
I don't believe in no Jesus. I don't believe in no Jesus. I will never believe in no. I'm never gonna believe in no Jesus, because on top of that, I can prove to you. I can prove to you that God is a Black woman before you could never prove to me that Jesus ever existed.
Okay, well,
and
what
I can do.
Okay, what I'm saying,
and I've done it.
What I'm saying is that there's a lot of information, like for instance, in regards to the Romans, because I know who they were. Okay, who they were, I know about the barbarians, okay, that destroyed Rome. There is a lot that people do not know that is being hidden from history, just like what I have talked about, if you can remember, in regards to Caesar, Czar, Khazar. There's a lot that people do not realize that they are not teaching you about. There is a lot of hidden history.
In order to be respectful, in order for me to be respectful, because at this point, because I care about you, and because you know, and I have love for you, Lashid, I'm not gonna say what I want to say, right? And it wouldn't be rude, but you may take it.
Oh
no,
right?
No. The thing is, I'm not gonna go there with you, because this is your belief, okay? This is your belief system, and I'm not gonna disrespect your belief system. No matter what I say to you, no matter any questions that I bring up to you, it is always going to link back to that book. It doesn't matter if you say you've read the original Hebrew book.
Do you think I'm just
always going
basing my
go
beliefs
back to that book?
You have to have. I have to have secular information to back up that book, and I don't just see it as a book. Do you see the Medunetter as just some writings? Do you see, let's say, what's written by John Henry Clark? Do you see that as just a book? Do you see the ISIS papers as just a book? You know that there's a lot more beyond that book.
How many?
You realize that there is a lot more beyond that book.
The Bible is not evidence of its own veracity. It never has been, and it never will be. It's been debunked so many times. And the fact, your mind will not, because of your belief, right? Your mind will not even open you up to the possibility that you have been fooled. Okay, that it was written by the Romans. It won't allow you to do that. There is no evidence.
The white man too much credit. Why are we giving the Europeans so much credit? Do you really believe that there were people that we would refer to now as Christians in the African continent before
they were converted by the Romans? The Ethiopian.
I'm not just talking about and even before they referred to themselves as, even in Ethiopia, before they referred to themselves as Christian and took on the Western world idealisms of Christianity, you had those who you would today call Christians. You've had Hebrews in Africa. Do you know Ouida, just like I've just talked about recently, Ouida, what is now called Ouida, Ouidah, in Benin, West Africa. Okay, that was referred to. Ouida is French for Judah, Kingdom of Judah. You have to understand, the people that you're talking about is Jews now.
Let her make her point, Angel.
I mean, I'm just going to just close with this, because I don't want to take it on to I never did try to take it on to a religious debate. But I'm just saying that I'm not going to leave behind or just dump, for popular opinion or anything like that. I'm not going to ever leave that at the door. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to take it. But like I said, I don't push my beliefs on it. What I usually do, I make my videos or make my statements in my hangouts, whatever. And from there, you can, you know what I'm saying? You could, but I don't go. And this is what I've noticed, just like in the Black Message forums, where they have a part that was like religious forum, or it's all the agnostics and atheists and non-Bible believers. They are the ones who continuously come into what is the so-called religious forum section of the Black forum I used to visit. And they would be coming and attacking us. We wouldn't be, but yet it's always the so-called religious folks.
Ebony Sun Goddess.
I have not brought up anything not saying that I'm afraid to bring up my faith and support what I say, but I never really brought up anything.
Hebrews themselves, had nothing to do with the Bible, nothing to do with Christianity. There was it's like when people turn around and say, oh, that they're Hebrew Israelites or they're Hebrews, okay? If that's your religion, that's your religion, but you don't know that you are the descendant of Hebrews. You don't know this, okay? Because we can't trace back like that. When we do our DNA test, it tells us that we're from Ghana, Nigeria, Congo. It said all of these different places, right?
See, they limit us. That's the thing. They limit us to sub-Saharan Africa. We have to understand what we call the so-called Middle East. That is Africa. That is part of what we would now call Africa. They want us to believe that we only come from this section. Right. They don't even want us to claim South Africa. They call them the Capoeirans or North Africa. They want to believe. Go ahead.
Hebrew was a religion, all right? Sorry, not a religion. Hebrew was a language, sorry. Hebrew was a language, right? And it was a tribe, okay? It was a tribe, right? Now, it's not a race of people, okay? It was a tribe. So it's it's also like when people say that they are Moors, right? Now, the Moorish Empire is a dynasty. It's like somebody saying that it's like an Asian man saying that they're Ming. That was a dynasty. It no longer exists anymore. Unless you can trace back your lineage to that dynasty, then you may be a descendant of somebody that was a part of that dynasty, right? It's not about saying that we limit ourselves to sub-Saharan Africa. This is coming from me, who has done his DNA test, that it clearly also puts somewhere in my DNA that's not from sub-Saharan Africa. Now, whether we allow the white man to tell us that what is known as the Middle East now, is not, is the Middle East and it's really a part of Africa. All of this, everything is national landmass, right? Nationalities and landmass or whatever. They've all been named by somebody. It's all a name. However, how many of us, when we do DNA tests, are coming up with regions that is now classed as the Middle East? Not many of us. Some of us may have some percentages. The majority of us don't.
The thing is, with the DNA test, what they do is they go by current populations. They match you up with current populations. They do not go back further, even though there is a sister who did, and I should re-upload her video, where there's a certain section, DNA tribes, that a lot of people don't look into, like going more into migrations. And it showed that she was traced back to the Levant. The thing is, what they do with the DNA test, they test you, match you up with current populations. They don't really go so deep into migration. Okay, they don't really go into that. And the thing is that, okay, like for instance, let's say if you're Italian, they'll connect you with, okay, they won't say that you have Negro in you, even though we know that that's not the Moors, even though the Moors
that's not true at all.
Even though we know the Moors,
that's not true at all. I did so much research. Before I did my DNA test. When some Italians do their DNA test, it doesn't just say that they're Italian. It says they're North African also. A lot of Italians have North African DNA on it.
But I'm talking about when they break it down, not just area, but when they break it down by race.
But that's all that they don't. Ancestry DNA is not about race. It's not about race. It's not about race. Like it's not that I started it. I'm just saying, but it's not. I'm just saying.
The point that I'm making, they're not really going to go that far in migration. They're going to make you believe, okay, well, this person he is 70 or 80%.
Some of these are traced back 5,000 years. The DNA is traced back 5,000 years. If you research this.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm just asking because I did a lot of research before I did it. And even my own woman did. My woman has the whitest name in the world. The whitest, because I had somebody say, "Oh, you can't trust them. They try to trick you." With me, my name is Angel Ramirez-Jordan. It's pretty obvious when they get my kit that they might, my sample, they might turn around and go, "Oh, well, maybe he's black and and something else, and maybe some Spanish in there." So we can no. My woman has the whitest name in the world, and her results came back as being 76% African, and then other little things there that were true, right? That even her father and great grandfather said, "Yeah, that makes sense. Those particular white bloodline does make sense." Okay, it isn't a case of saying that because when you talked about the Italians. When you look at Italian DNA tests, it shows them, North African, that they have North African DNA. And that links to the Moors invasion. It links to that. I don't believe that the DNA test is some
they're matching them up with the current populations of North Africa. They are not.
Have you seen North Africans? Have you seen North African ancestry DNA results? Current North African DNA results?
Not current, no.
Okay. When you look, well, I've seen current North African DNA.
This is done.
I've seen current North African DNA results. Current, right? There's quite a few on there. If you type in Moroccan DNA results, Algerian, Egyptian stuff like that, and most of the time, their admixture will have some sub-Saharan African, some Northern African, European, Middle Eastern, and it breaks down to European. It doesn't really.
What I'm saying, they're not necessarily going
so
by.
That can't be.
They're going by.
It's not about current. It's not about current
population. They're going by.
They're not, because that would flaw. You know why that would flaw the results? If they were going by the current population, then
there are still blacks in these areas though too.
If an Algerian does a DNA test and they're only going by current population, their results would just say North African. That's all it would say, but it doesn't. It doesn't say that. It gives them.
Okay, all that I'm basically saying. Black people, we need to stop just limit. That's what they want us to do because they know we just proud to say we.
I disagree. Africa is the center of the world.
Just like with the Lucy, with the Lucy, which is totally ridiculous. And now they found another little foot
from Africa anyway. So it's like, get out of here with that false stuff.
The thing is, what is Africa though? I mean, that's okay. If we want to believe that everyone, I don't believe that where they've carved, where they decide to label as Africa. I don't believe that that's where we originate, or that's where. Now I can't say necessarily with the garden, going back to. And I'm not gonna cut back on what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say and going back to the Garden of Eden, but I'm just saying I do believe that we came out where we migrated out from with the Mesopotamian area. We have to understand the original Sumerians were black. Okay, when they talk Asiatic black man.
I hear that.
And see, we have to not just look at land. Okay, if we were to label a continent, don't just look at what's been marked, but you have to. The Middle East is a part of Africa.
So you believe?
Wait, hold on. When you consider the people, the back and forth, the migrating back and forth, they have more in connection to so-called Middle East, particularly before they built the Suez Canal. Had more in relation to those of the what we would now refer to as the African continent, because it was all the land of Ham. It was all
what you're basing on. This is all religious. This is all
Ham.
religious.
You can look up the name Ham. These are people just
Mesopotamia
is
modern. Mesopotamia is modern day Iraq.
That's why they always
Mesopotamia is modern day Iraq. My answer did not
exactly modern day
in Iraq.
But I wanted to add.
Do you not believe that blacks migrated into that? These people were originally black.
Lashid, I'll let you finish this. She is absolutely right, Angel. What they did do, it took I think about 13 years. What they did is they went to Akibalon, and they started doing also DNA testing with people over in Akibalon. And they were able to track them in the different regions that they came from even further back. So there is a whole different test, and the test doesn't just come up that, oh, okay, you're just from Nigeria and that's it and that. They actually show those regions, they show where they migrated, and everything. I actually did see that. Where I see it, I can't remember, because it was so massive. What they had to do, as big as a Keeble is, that it took a number of years to put all that in the database, and that was just a whole separate test. And actually, I pulled it up because that particular test cost $300 to take that particular test if you want to go much deeper into your lineage. And I was like, whoa, that's
I'm assuming that that's what the sister did. I should re-upload. And I had asked her, it was with DNA Tribes, and that's what I use DNA Tribes also to, you know, that's, and DNA Consultant to also back up with my Ancient Egypt series, and proving that the, you know, Egyptians were Black. And, you know, I put a lot of work into that. That took like about 3 years of work. I put together Excel spreadsheets. I did hair analysis, trigonometry, skeletal, cranial indices. I had to put together mathematical formulas. I'm not a person.
The only people that argue that ancient Egyptians were Caucasians are Caucasians. Right? Yeah, I don't think there's any Black person with half a brain that thinks that Egyptians were not Black, right?
No, but there's still those, you know, just still for those who, you know, and those at Egypt Search Reloaded, they very much appreciated my series. But I did that also, and in doing that, that's what also actually that series confirmed my faith in the Bible, because these are things I've been knowing from my brothers who are Israelites since the late 80s, but I put it aside because I felt like, what this got to do with God, or what this has to do, you know, I didn't want to mix in my beliefs with my pro-Black beliefs. I didn't want to mix in, but it took me years. But in doing that series and in the research and all the reading and stuff that I had to do, I'm like, oh my gosh, they were right all along. So actually, the secular information has actually confirmed my faith, actually. And not to mention, if we were to talk about certain miracles in my life, but, you know, and I know there's a reason I'm up in YouTube. There's a reason, you know, and that's what keeps me going.
But that doesn't prove that life started.
Okay, but I'm gonna just leave with this because I feel like me coming in here, I feel like it diverted the whole conversation, which is not what I intended. That's not what I intended. But I'm gonna just leave it at okay. Let me just leave this last word to Angel. If you are interested, just as I go along, because I was working on this series before I came up in here. And talking about dating, carbon dating, and dinosaurs. If you're interested, just look out for my upcoming videos where I do talk about it. You know, I'm trying to get back on it.
You've been trying to get me to watch the Bible series for like.
I ain't been forcing. I have not been forcing anything. I just suggested it because I know that we kind of had this conversation.
We're friends on Facebook, right? And we've had conversations in the inbox, right? And you know where I stand, all right?
Yeah.
And for me, sometimes I think some people are just very stuck in their ways, and no matter what I say, what anybody says, it's not going to change their belief system. You have to understand that I came from a Roman Catholic mother and a Rastafarian father. Okay, I had the indoctrination on both sides. Okay,
good Lord.
And so. And anyway, so my mother pushing me to go to church every Sunday, and it was very strict. And then my father pushing his beliefs. And anyone that knows what Rastafarianism is, it ain't about smoking weed. It is basically a Jewish/Christian religion. Okay,
right.
It takes up. It's a bit of both. And it wasn't until I was and Brother Possibilities might even know this. I even converted to, or at the time they said I was reinverted to Islam when I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was 20.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, it wasn't until I was 25 that I realized religion was not for me because of other information that's there. Okay? We all, and I just want to put this out there, it's like it's not, everyone gets very passionate about certain topics, and I understand that, the same as I do, the same as she does. At the end of the day, that I always turn around and say, after all of this, because we can argue and shout at the top of our lungs, there is a path. Everyone has their own path to get to the same place.
Exactly.
You might go this way, I go that way. But essentially, our goal is to get to the exact same place. And whether it takes me longer or quicker or whatever, We're going to get there, all right? The person who is not going to get there is the person running around intercepting everybody's path. So you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, because they're not going on their path. Instead of climbing the mountain to the top, they're running around the mountain, telling everyone they're wrong.
But I don't.
Yeah, it's just funny.
I'm not saying
I just want to
saying
make
that
one
you do
point real
I
quick.
get what you're saying. I'm just saying, you know, my method is just basically, of course, I'm going to defend what I believe, and you know, I'm going to speak on what I believe. But my method is just basically, okay, you know, you believe this, well, you know, check this out, you know, and just presenting the information. So, you know.
Look, Lashee, don't think that was useless information. That was supposed to happen. Nothing happens by accident. I know what I'm talking about on this.
Yeah, I
want to make one quick point, Joe. I mean, it's just funny how I started out this thing talking about like how, you know, the you know, Saneter and them waste a lot of time with debates. But I think that this debate was like it was a worthwhile debate and discussion. You know, I think that it was enlightening, you know, just hearing different perspectives. And really, you know, I think that you should all have a hangout, just like really hashing out the.
Well, I'm a chill
brother
for
possibility.
Minute,
Do you know brother possibilities? Do you know why?
Yeah, what's up?
You will always end up having the debate about religion in regards to what you were talking about. When you talk about the conscious community, you can't avoid religion, right? When you talk about Black people and you talk about even like whether it's Saneter, Polite, or whatever. A lot of information that's out there in this so-called conscious community is about spirituality and religion. You're always going to go down that realm. It's part and parcel of it.
Yeah.
Spiritual people.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
I was kind of in and out.
Religion, like I usually try to avoid religious.
You know, that's why
I know
when Adrian uttered the word religion, I knew.
I think that we were like all on.
Well, I'm gonna leave these hangouts alone.
But I like hearing
religious stuff. But I do like hearing it. You gotta keep doing what you're doing, honey.
No, I know what I need to do. This is just telling me, because before I came here, I was working on this, just telling me what it is that I need to do. You know, so I take everything as I just hate that I missed what y'all was talking about.
Yeah, I think religion is just very sensitive, and I don't want to offend anybody. I really don't. And so I think that, but it's hard because it's like a double-edged sword, because he was just saying, you know, dealing with Black folk and our condition, you know, over 80% of our people, you know, are Christian, and we have always been a spiritual people, period. It's something very important, and it's very essential to us as a people. So I think that, you know, we have to come to some type of meeting ground. That's why I always say, and Marcus Garvey said it best, race first, you know, and it's not to take away from anybody's religion.
That's my
or
philosophy, right? Race first, Race first. Like, I mean, I think that I don't have any problem with people having different beliefs, and, you know, I believe in tolerance and stuff like that. And I do enjoy these discussions, all these different philosophies. And I think that, like, when we were just talking about like these issues of race and the plight of our people, are pretty much on the same page, and then we had differences of opinion, and then that's fine. Like, it's fine to have differences.
Don't you see it?
Debate things as long as it doesn't divide us.
It's healthy.
Don't you see it though?
It's healthy for us to have disagreements, and I always say this. I'm sitting up here looking at these different avatars of different people in the royal family. And the thing that I always say, when we got a group of us like this that are discussing, we may be disagreeing, but we're not disrespecting, that the enemy never intended for us to speak as we speak right now. Now, everybody have their belief system, and I respect that, but prophecy is being fulfilled as we speak. They never intended for us to talk.
Is the sister's name, is it Renee? This is legit, Renee?
Yeah.
I'm Kimberly.
Right.
I'm Kimberly.
Okay. I think she touched on it. She touched on it and made a real great fact. And it's the point, and even Brother Possibilities touched on it. When we're talking about Black people and race and any issues we have, we're unified. As a race, we're unified. And I said, this is why I said, don't you see it? The moment religion comes into it, we all become divided and we separate, and the racial structure and the power structure gets crumbled. And now we don't care about a community. What, you don't believe in Christianity? You don't believe in God? Well, screw you. You're not my brother. You're not my. And you know, that same Christian will more likely see a white Christian as his brother than a black Muslim as his brother, or a black Israelite, or a black Pan-African. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said, don't you see it? But it's not in this group. Even though we may have a disagreement, and the reason why I say it, we may be having this somewhat of a disagreement, but we have had some really deep hangouts, and I have not yet seen this particular group, and there's more of us, some of us come in and out, where we can disagree, we do it respectfully, and then the next time somebody on a hangout, we are supporting each other hangout. That's why I say we are the example. We are the one that's conducting. That are using the code of conduct. We are the one that's displaying black love. We all may have our different belief systems, but we still got so much love for each other. Like we should have a rule. I'm saying something serious, because I know what I feel. I'm a very energy-based person. We have so much black love for each other, even though it may be a little tension in here. Ain't nobody called nobody no names. The world ain't ended and all that. We are the example. That's my driving force here. This conversation was supposed to happen. I'm trying to tell y'all something I know.
The conversation is out of love and respect, like regardless of the differences. You know, we respect each other, we appreciate each other, and we are tolerant of each other's beliefs. Like, despite the differences that were exchanged during this discussion, like nobody was cursing anybody out or talking about somebody's religion.
Black love flowing back and forth. Even for disagreement.
Should debate.
But I think that should be a part of our code of conduct. I just appreciate it. Touch on religion. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I'm not going to go away.
Religion divides.
I will respect what you say, Conscious, but my belief system, I can't put God to the side.
Okay, it's not putting God to the side.
No. I said I respect you. That's the part that I wanted you to hear. I said I respect you. I just said I simply can't do it.
But you see where I stated that God is not the issue. Religion may be. Religion divides. God unifies.
I say religion, Angel. I didn't say anything about God.
Right.
Okay,
God unifies, religion divides. Like I said, spirituality is God-made, religion is man-made. I will never fold on that. Like even look at, all right, I said to New Possibilities, I said that when I was 19, I converted to Islam, and I left the fold of Islam at 25. According to the Quran, I am destined for hell. I will burn in the fires of hell because of that. You know. And this is and there's no way the Possibilities can say, well, but that's what it says in the book. In the Quran, I'm going to hell. No matter what good I do in my life or who I save or anything, I'm destined for hellfire. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, but in hell. Before you came on, Angel, I told everybody I was a heathen out here in these streets because I haven't touched communion in years, boy.
The black love resonates in this hangout. That's the driving force of this message for me. It still resonates.
This has to be the latest hangout I've ever had.
I still have a respect for everybody on this channel and love.
Right. Close
out, y'all. This is late.
Yeah, Brother Anson's trying to get rid of us, so we gotta leave.
Right? Yeah,
but I appreciate all of y'all, man. Thanks for joining the hangout. It was a great discussion.
Thanks for having it, New Possibilities.
The next one. Peace, everybody.
Peace,
everybody. Much love.